Watch this little thing. All right, I'm bringing us up.
Oh no, they can hear us.
They can hear.
Oh God.
I think. I mean, yeah. This seems up. That's why.
There, now I can hear you.
There he is.
It's like
And there I am.
I moved some mics. I moved some mics around, and so that was why.
I sound way butterier
Buttery.
when I'm not.
Check 1 2. Land O'Lake status, bitch.
Did you see that one?
Yeah, that's.
They canceled the Land O'Lakes girl.
It's funny because they took that picture and they just cut her out, and then they smashed the mountains and the lake together.
Awful.
It's
like it was like the worst Photoshop.
It's some really bad.
It's like
Photoshop.
Lazy Photoshop. Cut.
Yeah.
Ugh. Those people.
Jake Matthews' show is underway in just a moment, my friend.
All right. This
is my hero Bruno around?
Eat bananas thing.
Oh, did you not notice that last week?
No, I did. I just didn't have a chance to ask what it was.
I was just
it's about nanas.
Fucking around waiting for somebody to notice.
Just a little friendly, helpful health tip.
Oh,
hey, there we are.
Let's get ready to suck it.
Tool.
What?
Oh man.
What was that?
Deep cuts.
Let's get ready to suck it. Follows up with that song. It's awful. It's. I think it made all three of our lists on the wrestling show of when we did our top 5 worst entrance themes. It was just bad. Oh, I think I picked the X-Pac version because there was a rap involved with it. It wasn't just a little punk sound. It was terrible. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Welcome indeed.
I'm going off on wrestling.
Any DX fans in the house?
Ron is here, brother Ron. Thanks for joining us once again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you back. How's your job hunt going?
Going really well.
Good.
I've got a couple irons in the fire. I'm admittedly kind of enjoying the extra time with the kids and, a little bit of extra time around the house to just fiddle fart around and catch up on movies like Replicas, which I'm sure we'll get to, and amongst other things. But things are going well. There's a really promising one that I'm really hopeful to get that I should theoretically have an answer this week.
Nice.
And if I get it, it's like life-changing good. So yeah, it'd be great.
Right on. All right. So we'll start out with a little bit of news here. What do you say?
Yeah, this looks awful.
Ex-police officer fought with his next-door neighbor and over trash and dog poop. It ended up an alleged execution.
Did he shoot that little sherbet puppy in the head?
The feud between next-door neighbors in Northern Virginia began over issues as common as cul-de-sacs in the suburbs: unscooped dog poop, loud music, and messy garbage cans.
Yeah, most of my problems are with my poops.
Continue.
Whoa, wait. Okay. Over the years, the ordinary neighborhood dispute spiraled out of control, building to the moment this spring when Javon Prather rang Michael Hetley's doorbell. Hetley, a 52-year-old NASA executive, answered with a gun.
Oops.
Without a word, he fired 3 shots at the 24-year-old giant worker, a prosecutor later said in court, describing a scene captured by Hetty's Ring camera. I've been thinking about getting one of those Ring cameras, actually. They're pretty neat. The wounded man tried to run, but 3 more blasts followed him down.
By hackers.
Right.
Oh, Ring?
Holy shit, he shot him 3 more times as he was running away. Prather collapsed before Hetley fired a 7th and final shot into his fallen body just for good measure.
Okay. This is
wow.
My
this
journalistic integrity is taking over, but that does not meet my criteria for an execution. That he shot him 7 times.
Yeah.
An execution is 1, maybe 2.
2 to the back of the dome.
Yeah. 2 shots back of the
Headley
head.
swiveled, the prosecutor said, pointing the gun at Prather's wife, Janelle, who was just feet away next door. According to the prosecutor, he had a question for her. Did she want some too? Dude, this guy, holy
Obviously
cow.
she didn't, because she's in a picture at the top holding
Man, that's
stuffed
fucking
puppy.
hardcore. Prather died and Hetley was charged with murder, but views over which man was the instigator in that final confrontation have divided the neighbors just as starkly as the feud that preceded it. The argument touches on race, class, and the perennial tensions over neighbors who share a common wall in a townhouse community. Dude.
This was an execution. A
Nice.
Fairfax prosecutor said in court as he argued Hetley should remain jailed pending trial. I can't read.
No, I think that
Trial
the prosecutor's
March
voice is going to be different than what you did.
You think so?
This is an execution. This was an execution.
This was an execution.
Wow. The security footage
Did you like
didn't
my
show threats. Led her client to believe he had a weapon. Wow. Okay.
Matulka.
So this guy was just clearly fucking deranged. And
Matulka said Hetley was a beleaguered homeowner who had dealt with threats and provocations from the couple next door for too long.
I am liable to go with the NASA executive with the Ring camera on this one because he's 52 years old and I'm sure he was just tired of people's shit.
You know,
I totally get it.
One of the things that I learned handling guns as a kid from my dad was you don't pull a gun at somebody unless you intend to use it. But 7 fucking times, like,
he intended.
Yeah, I'll say.
When the dude
I hate
runs
my neighbors,
away,
but not that much.
If the dude's running away, you stop firing. You ended the threat.
That's what happened with that dude up in Waha. That's why he's in trouble.
Oh,
when
he killed the fugitive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he tried to say it was self-defense, even though the guy was no longer on his property and was running away.
He was running away into the woods. He could have just got behind a tree.
Okay, where did this happen again? North Virginia? Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Well, everybody's crazy up there.
Damn. Okay.
That's close to the capital. That's a bit much. Yeah, I am. It's a bit much.
So he was pissed off at his neighbors and had put up with their dog poop and their... All right.
I don't know. I've smelled my dog's poop. And I'd be fed up too.
There we go. This is... Yeah, I saw this earlier today. Tom Cruise and Doug Liman, acclaimed director of... a
movie I haven't seen.
Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat, whatever you want to call it. You've never seen it? You should. It's great.
I'm sure it's excellent. I like everything Tom Cruise does.
It's one of my favorites of his because I'm not a big fan, but it's a great show.
I don't like him.
Good old
but
Bill,
I love his work.
Good old Bill Paxton's in it too.
Really?
Yeah.
How do we get out of this chicken shit out there?
And Emily Blunt, swoon. John Krasinski's a lucky man.
She doesn't do it for me.
But yeah, they're gonna send Elon Musk, I guess, is involved in all this, getting Tom Cruise to space, and they're gonna be filming a movie in the process. And man, that's when we were kids, and I mean, granted, you guys are a little bit older than me, but when we were kids, it was the big thing about Jackie Chan doing all of his own stunts, and that was his big selling point with his movies. And
I remember that.
Now we've got Tom Cruise fucking hanging on the sides of planes when they take off, and now going to space, dude.
I never would have guessed it when we were younger.
Tom Cruise is an insane man.
But he had it in his contract for Maverick that he got to fly a plane on camera and footage that would be used in the film. And so he got to go learn how to fly.
The astronaut said that the Top Gun star will have to learn to prepare for a space emergency, such as space debris flying into the International Space Station. He'll also be trained on surviving an ocean splashdown when he comes back to Earth. Man, like I said earlier when we were talking on our little chat that we have, Tom Cruise doesn't have fuck you money. He's got fuck Earth money.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, on the set of, let's say, like, The Outsiders. He's in the movie The Outsiders way back in the 80s. Do you think he would have imagined? Do you think he would have imagined at that time that he was like, someday I'm going to be like the first civilian, basically the first civilian?
I thought Lance Bass was.
Yeah, Lance Bass went.
Did he?
Space.
Yeah, fuck Lance Bass.
He
Did
went
he?
to space.
Yeah, fuck Lance Bass.
No, he'll accept.
No, there's actually a really funny reference to that in a show that was on Comedy Central that I'm a big fan of called Review with Forrest McNeil. He reviews life experiences instead of being a critic for like food or movies. He takes submissions from fans in the audience to review life experiences of everything from what's it like to get divorced to what's it like to go to space.
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff. And Lance Bass shows up in the section where he's going to space.
Yeah, I don't care about Lance Bass. It's Tom Cruise, man. If my next door neighbor went to space, I wouldn't give a shit.
Nope.
Really?
I'd be
I thought
happy.
you
Like I
liked
said,
your
I hate
next-door
my
neighbor.
neighbors. I'd hope
I'd
they'd
hate
come
him
back.
more.
Yeah.
Shoot him 7 times.
All kinds of fucking chances to die in space.
Yeah, have fun. I
just
watched
love
that.
Can you close that window? That urologist. Try this. You have an enlarged prostate picture is really fucking disturbing.
I'd really like to know. They always have such issues with getting insurance secured for some of the things that he does for his movies.
I kept thinking about the insurance part of
Yeah.
it, and I was like,
What's the premium on going to space?
Yeah.
That
Why does he have to be insured anyway? He gets paid like $1 bajillion a movie.
Because if he dies, the movie bombs, and those people want to be covered.
Yeah,
That's
if
true.
he dies,
Whatever they're investing.
forget bombs. If he dies, the movie doesn't exist.
Right.
They.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a new movie. I saw a trailer for it with Robert De Niro's in it, Morgan Freeman, Tommy
Really?
Lee Jones. Yeah, basically the premise is Tommy Lee Jones is like a stunt guy,
Mhm.
actor,
Uh-huh.
but
He looks like
he always comes out on the other end surviving. And
Huh.
one of the actors that they worked alongside of like died at the beginning part of the thing, and then so his insurance paid out big. So we're like, fuck, we gotta
Mhm.
do the insurance thing. So, and hoping that the guy dies, because then we'll get we'll get our movie paid for. So basically, they hired the Tommy Lee Jones character to try to like put him in these dangerous situations, so he'll die during the production of the movie.
Hmm.
Huh.
It's a comedy. It looks okay, but not
Just
fantastic.
have John
not as good as
Landis direct
Replicas.
I like Tommy Lee Jones. He
No,
seems
I do
like
too.
a prick in
Twilight
real
Zone,
life.
anybody?
Like he's. Oh yeah, God. How
He
many
does
people
seem
died
like a
in that?
prick in
Like
real
4
life, but
people
that's
died in
why-
that.
No, it was the guy and the 2 kids.
Oh, 3 people
If
died.
I remember,
Oh,
it was just the 3 of them.
Sorry, 1 and 2 halves.
Who died?
People
Yeah.
died.
John Landis's old movie, the Twilight Zone movie,
Oh,
where they were
right.
crashing the helicopter and things went awry and 2 kids died in the process of it. Yeah, it's
Cool.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
Do we have any other news? I'm trying to think if I saw anything newsworthy here in the past day or two that hasn't been beaten to death on
Tommy Lee
Facebook.
Jones, though, yeah, he does seem like an asshole.
He owns a ton
But
of
I
land.
would, but
and-
I would love to just like hang out with him and get like cut down by him.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he's one of those guys where I'd just like to like sit and like let him just like lay into me for.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't watch any of Jim Carrey's work except like Ace Ventura before they did the Riddler and
They
Two-Face. 'Cause he hated him.
he really didn't like him.
And Jim Carrey will still talk about it. Like I saw an interview from not 2 years ago where he was talking about it again because somebody asked him, like, was it true that Tom? Yeah, he didn't like me and didn't respect me.
Hi, everybody.
And
Thank you for watching.
Do we know who that is?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's my lady friend.
ah, hello.
She's taking care of the kids for me tonight.
fun. Is that a jackalope or a picture of it? It's an actual jackalope.
Yeah, it's an actual.
Well, no, the one that's behind me is Rick's jackalope.
Oh, it's not that one.
No.
There's one up on the wall, but
yeah,
that one's in Rick's basement,
Yeah.
and it looks upset.
Yeah.
It's got big pointy teeth.
I like his jackalope better than mine, but don't tell my wife that.
I just want one.
Yeah.
I've wanted his for
I
as
asked
long as
for
I can
that was
fucking
I
remember.
one of the things I asked for that for Father's Day.
Where'd you get it? There's like 8
Um,
taxidermy places in town. I'm sure that there's.
She had to find it she found it online.
Oh,
I'm sure.
'cause there's one.
You could have one done that's a lot more expensive than the one she found online. But
Yeah.
There's one down on Snake River Ave. There's like 3 up here in the orchards.
There's one on Snake River Ave.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's like
Huh.
Rising Phoenix Taxidermy.
Weird.
That's an interesting name for a taxidermist.
It's an interesting fucking sign too.
Huh.
With the
I'll have to look for it. I don't think I've seen it.
The big fiery murder bird on it. Yeah, it's awesome. God bless you, people. I don't know you, but I like your sign.
Where did Rick get his, Amy? I thought Rick got his from Dad, didn't he?
Yeah, wasn't it a gift from your dad?
Yeah, I think Dad left it.
If I remember correct.
When Rick bought the
house, yeah. If I remember
Dad
right.
was like, you can have the jackalope.
Dude, hell yeah.
It's one of those oldest
I bequeath
things.
you.
I bequeath. It's not really a bequest because Dad's still kicking, drinking beer and swearing.
Oh, that's great.
So you sent me a link, or you sent the chat a link the other day.
Did I?
Yeah. Well, we've sent several links over the past 2 weeks. I went through and like dug through them to like dig out all the good stuff. But
I edged through stuff and I'm like, is this too crazy? This might be too crazy. I'm not going to send it to him.
Some of the
have
shit.
To remind me of what
I'd love to know what doesn't make the cut, because some of the things you send us, I'm even like, what?
What doesn't make the cut usually involves like the heavy conspiracies.
Well, you sent the one that was the world is a neural network.
Right.
And so then I opened it up and I started like, first I was like, that's a lot of pages. So then I start scrolling through the pages, and then
if you
about 4 pages in, like there starts being all this like Goodwill Hunting math in there. And I was like, fuck that noise.
Nope,
I swiped it.
Fuck you. I'll just read the abstract.
And so I was like, and so then I think I said something to you and you're like, okay, I'll fill you in.
Yeah. I wish you would have said something before we went live, because I've got like a whole series of pictures that I show to describe why I've been thinking this for years. Like they're the first few pictures on this iPad, because I used it to explain it to my son. Because is something on fire?
No, that was my vape.
Oh, okay. I was just like, shit.
Good eye though.
It's just a little bit of movement. Anyway, it's a series of pictures, like, you see Earth, and then you see Earth compared to everything else in the solar system, and like the furthest picture they've taken from Earth, and then it pulls out and it's our solar system in comparison to the galaxy, and then like the local cluster of galaxies that we're a part of, and then the whole our half of the universe. And they've got this, everything's an artist's rendition, because it's not like they have a fucking picture of the known universe.
Right.
But it's this, it looks like something. And then I'll show another picture. I'm like, and Alex will be like, oh yeah, that's cool. That looks just like that.
Okay. So catch me up on, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball on this one. So what is the theory that they're positing here?
That the whole of the universe is a hologram projected on a neural network.
Okay.
And this is the picture of the universe that I have. This is our half. This is the other half. And what do you think that is?
It's like one of those Rorschach tests. Is that somebody's brain?
Yes.
Like
it's a brain
the
scan.
pathway of, yeah.
And this,
that's alarmingly similar, actually.
Isn't it?
That's kind of crazy.
And that's one of the things that I use. Like there's the that's the universe as we know it.
None of us are real. We're all just part of this.
Well, and we were talking about this last Thursday when we were walking back to the house from school. But yeah, we're about there.
Okay.
We're right about there on the Lanaya Kea or whatever.
Okay.
Magical Hawaiian word that is. And then it goes down. And, I'll do the... Oh, that's a fun one, too. I love this folder. Alex stuff. It's just all fucking crazy. So the idea is, according to the math that these people do, and I couldn't check it because I just haven't had that high of level of math. I haven't tackled that yet. I probably won't, because I really don't give a shit. Too many other people have done it.
Let the mathematicians.
But the math comes out that we're some sort of we're in a 2-dimensional universe, but we perceive it as a 3-dimensional hologram. And the basis of our reality is a neural network, much like our brains. And the other thing I've been saying for years is that they should be looking, if they really want to create AI, they should be looking at how our brains work, because they really don't fucking know. Like everything's just kind of guesswork at this point.
Yeah.
So
they know what it does, but they have less than no idea why it does what it does.
And you hear that bullshit, you know, we only use 10% of our brain. There's only 10% of our brain firing at any given time, but
we use all of it.
Like you've got a string of neurons here that all fire in a specific order, and it triggers a memory. Like that's how things are saved.
Yeah.
In our little brain computers, the neural network. And if those same ones fire in a different order, you have a different memory. And so they're stored in, and this is all theoretical nonsense from papers I read over the last 20 years. But, and so like it fires this way, it's one thing. It fires that way, it's another. It fires here, then it's another. And so those little, God, see, mine doesn't fire the way it used to. Too many hits to the head. Chronic traumatic brain injury is not a joke, folks.
No, it's not.
And so, and I'm not sure if like, okay, it fires this way and it reminds me of the smell of vanilla, and it fires this way backwards from that, and it reminds me of the taste. I don't know if they're that similar, or if it's just like this combination makes this and this totally other combination makes this similar thing. But it's a start. Like this is where they should be going if they're studying AI.
Right.
So
on the taste thing, do you ever get the taste, or do you just remember the taste and like? See, the way when I think of something like from my kid, like my childhood, like, okay, I used to have this Gremlins tent, but it had that really plasticky, sweet plasticky smell to it,
like Halloween costumes.
Yeah. And I can picture the smell, or I don't know a better way to say it, because I can't smell it,
right?
But I know what the smell is, and I know it when I smelled it. But I'm imagining the smell.
You're imagining the smell, and it's almost like you smell. It's
like almost right.
Wet asphalt or lilacs. Like it's almost there.
Like I'm just out of reach of it. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
Fireworks is one that I can think about it, and you can smell it.
Vanilla gets me because all of the pretty girls in junior high wore Vanilla Fields perfume. Do you remember that? Do you remember the Vanilla Fields perfume? No. Or was that not in your
The only vanilla
wheelhouse?
one
You
I
were
know
only a
is
year older than me.
From Bath and Body, the Vanilla Bean Noel, which that shit smells amazing. But
Vanilla Fields was the one. And so anytime I smell vanilla, I immediately remember like 90 things from junior high.
Oh, yeah.
Like weird shit from classes. Like, why? It took me years to figure out why that happened. And it was like, oh, because smell is heavily connected to memory. And that's kind of why I used smell as an example. But it, like, you'll smell something and it's almost a time machine.
Yeah.
Like, you'll just be like, oh, yeah, that's what it smelled like outside the drive-through window at TCBY.
Yeah.
Like, just stuff like that.
So on the concept of what do you say, the galaxy or universe or whatever,
our reality,
our entire reality being just a hologram, to what end? Where like, I
think they were attempting to mathematically prove simulation theory.
Thanks for watching, Jane. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while.
You were right in front of our house like half an hour ago.
Well, yeah, but
but yeah, I think there are people who believe that we're in a simulation, and they're trying to prove that.
Isn't that?
I think that's what
Elon Musk.
I see what you're saying. That was kind of where I was going. Was like, okay, so this is their theory, but like,
and
this is their way to work into the theory.
This is one more heavy piece of evidence toward that. I mean, there's other stuff like we've talked about this before. I don't think on the show, but like if you go down, there's a resolution. Like your screen or your TV or your video has a resolution.
Yeah.
The universe has a resolution. The universe has a speed limit. It's the speed of light because nothing can go faster than that.
No.
But that's the speed limit. Like there's a hard limit.
Okay.
And if you go down far enough, the shortest distance between two things is called a Planck length, named after, I think it's Max Planck. Another dude, if I could pull a bunch of people living or dead together, I'd put him in a room with me. But it's the smallest you can measure anything.
Okay.
And I don't remember what the point of that. Why? Like, I think he was just trying to see how small you could see.
Oh, yeah.
But the Planck length is the shortest distance between two like atomic particles. You know, like or not atomic, but subatomic particles, as small as you can get. And so that's the resolution of our graphics in this universe.
Okay.
And, you know,
man, that's some heavy shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm crazy. These are the things that I think about all the time.
Huh.
But, God, what's the other one? Speed limit, resolution. And then there was a logical argument, too. Like, if it's possible that we live in a simulation, then it's most likely that we do. Because if there's one true reality, then we could be a simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation. And because...
Oof.
So then ultimately, what does that mean?
Nothing.
Woof.
It means nothing. It's all like pointless arguing. People are like, well, it proves that there's no God. Does it?
Well,
it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't prove anything.
It doesn't prove anything. Anything at all. Because
it's like
if you stab me, I will bleed. Like that's the only reality I know.
Right.
So even if this is a really cool version of The Sims, and you're only my brother because somebody fucking programmed you that way,
we're not going to start floating.
No, it's like
because it defies our natural laws of.
It's like Joey Pants in The Matrix, where he's talking about eating the steak and how he knows it's not real, but it's so what? It's real to you.
So what? You know? I still love that can of Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like, here we go.
That's I'm not really familiar with the theory, but that's pretty trippy.
All I care about anymore, other than making sure Mara doesn't die, because she's fearless, is just pondering the nature of reality. It's fun, and it's weird. So, and some of the theories are crazy. I mean, you can go all the way to the allegory of the cave that Plato used to argue, like, you know, a bunch of people have lived their whole lives chained in a cave, and some other people, and all they see is shadows on a wall. And so to them, that's all reality is just these shadows on the wall, and they're guessing at whatever the fuck it means. And then someday some guy comes and grabs one of them and takes him out and shows him, hey, the shadows on the wall were just people walking by on the street out here. And you got this whole other, like, there's a whole world out here.
Yeah.
And then I think it comes down to, like, if we're in a simulation, then we're just in a cave watching shadows on the wall. And ultimately, none of this matters.
So how do we get out? We can't. Die trying.
Do you want to go that way?
You got to use a landline.
Okay.
You got to call your operator.
This is one of them things that I don't normally share. Actually, I've sent you a couple links to it on the you and I message. And so there's this theory, because all of these different ancient civilizations,
is this the Saturn
stuff, they all have their own, in their polytheistic nonsense, they all have their own evil whatever, whether it's Satan or Kronos or Saturn,
some kind of, or I don't know, if deity's the right word, but you get what I'm saying, kind of thing.
Right. Well, I mean, Kronos was Zeus's dad, and Saturn was Jupiter's dad. Like, they're the Roman and Greek equivalents, or other way, Greek and Roman equivalents, and they all fall into, they're the evil whatever, right? And but with every culture's astrology, they've attached that divine being, that malevolent divine being, to the planet Saturn. Every one of them.
Really?
Yeah. Saturn is that dude. Like, and that's, and depending on which nut job you're reading at any given time, they're like, that's why these people sacrifice and eat children. Because what did Saturn do? Or Kronos, I guess. Kronos he ate his kids as soon as his wife had them. Like, his first action upon her delivering a baby was him to eat it. Mm-hmm. And so she took Zeus, replaced him with a rock, and since he was just swallowing these children whole, he just ate the rock and was like, I'm good, because he got a prophecy, much like Cersei Lannister, that his children would overthrow him. And then, so Zeus's mom hid him away. How do you hide something away from a god? It's not a god. It's some weird fucking thing. But Zeus grows up, cuts his dad's belly open. All of his brothers and sisters come out, and they overthrow him. Use his body to create Earth and whatever. And so this legend has carried through just about everything. Like, there's a version of that story in everything. And different cultures, different people, different continents. It's like there being pyramids on every continent.
That was actually exactly where I was going to go, was the one thing with the pyramids being a global thing.
There's like 20,000 in Mexico. There's an uncountable amount in China.
Not the Ancient Aliens guy, but it's down that pathway. It was a movie that came out a long time ago. Was it like Chariots of the Gods or something like? Isn't that what it was called?
Graham Hancock.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah. I
don't know if he did Chariots of the Gods.
When you have identical cave paintings and things of that nature that are found, there's no explainable way,
right,
that somebody over here and somebody down here.
Yeah, unless there was
parallel thinking.
Yeah.
Unless there was either
two. That's how people guess the lottery numbers. Is it's
right.
Like, oh well, this guy in New York guessed the same numbers that I did. This kind of shit's not parallel thinking. This is something that's more of a like, how did you know about this and you know about this also?
Right. Well, there's several ideas there. Some of them are aliens. That there was once a global civilization, which to me architecturally is probably the most likely. There was a large global civilization that covered. I mean, much like
what we have now, yeah.
I mean, we get back and forth.
That predates dinosaurs? Or
sure. Who knows?
Predates, yeah.
It predates whatever's happening right now.
A lot of this is piggybacks onto something that I've said for as long as I can really remember, learning about like the history of the world, not like US history, but like actual geological history of the world and stuff like that. Scientists are so fucking presumptive to think that they have any idea. Like, yeah, there's a lot of information that can be used to gauge, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's all guesswork.
Science has become a religion. Like everything they hate about religion.
No idea.
You're sitting on top of
belief. As much as you might think that or you have these ideas of, well, we think that this race of people, because we found their things here and then we found their things here and these were what they used and blah, blah, blah. So we understand their culture. No, you don't.
You know how often the science like changes every year, something new comes up, like discrediting something from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember when we were kids, like was it the Stegosaurus supposed to have the 2 plates or whatever? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they're like, nope, they just had one row.
They had one big fin, and it was just a young version of this thing.
Yeah,
dinosaurs in general now the prevalent theory is they all had feathers and looked a lot more like birds than we ever gave them credit for.
But you see that in the way that birds behave, though, if you compare it to like say a Jurassic Park movie, the way that they fucking stalk their prey and shit.
Yeah, no, it's
eagles especially.
Yeah.
Eagles look like raptors.
And I love science, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing on science or anything. it's always impressed me how confident they are.
Right.
It's become a false idol.
They're so self-assured that like we have this really, really deep fundamental understanding of a culture that was around 10,000 years ago. It's like, you really don't.
Well, I saw a picture
You're scratching the surface
today of traditional Ethiopian hairstyles, and they're fucking legit. Like dudes with like 3 fins of hair. I mean, like
some Mad Max looking shit.
Beyond.
That's cool.
Like way past
Thunderdome. That's cool.
And then, you know, you look at the artworks and the statues, and they're like, oh, you know, why would they have an elongated skull? Like, it's not a fucking elongated skull, dude. Like, she just did her hair that way.
Oh, yeah.
But some of them, I mean, like the dude's got like 3 cool ass fins of hair, and it's like, man, that's awesome. And then you look at some of the paintings that they find, and you're like, oh, okay.
That explains that.
All right. It wasn't ancient aliens. Dudes just used to do their hair like that, and we didn't. And they're like, well, no, they were all bald. You think they were bald, dipshit? You think hair lasts 3,000-4,000 years?
Yeah.
Oh, no. What was that? King Tut, the guy that was all, he had like 11,000 different birth defects because he was so impressed. Like, oh, he was bald. Probably not.
No idea.
No, he probably had that cool chin beard.
No one will ever know. It's arrogant to think that you do.
Yeah. I mean, and the dinosaur feathers is exactly the same thing. Just because their skin didn't survive. Maybe they really all were purple and green like fucking Barney.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe it was feathers that made him purple and green. Nobody knows.
Nobody really knows. They'd like to think that they do, but maybe it helps them sleep at night or something. Like you said, I think a lot of it ties into that same fulfillment that people get, or not all people, but that people get from religion of humans crave that understanding of, or even thinking that they understand, even if they don't actually.
Yeah. And it all stems from being afraid of the dark.
Yeah. And yeah.
The dark being the unknown.
Yeah, I was just going to say, being what you don't know or can't see. Yeah.
But you know, when it was time to go to bed and your bedroom was in the basement and you had to go down there and it was dark, you felt that. Everybody feels that.
Everybody does it
when you're 7 or 8 years old.
I still do from time to time. I'll get myself, because you get thinking and then you get going in your head and you just spook yourself out. And
yeah. No, it's the whole like, yeah, you just having to hold on to something that makes you feel like you've got some sort of control over.
Yeah. And these people like, the Facebook page, I fucking love science, right? It used to be pretty cool because you'd get some science news and whatever, but it's become.
I bet it's heavy-handed right now.
It's a cult of science. Like, oh, the scientist said, so you need to. I mean, it's just like, oh, the Pharisees said we needed to do this, so we need to crucify this Jesus dude. It's the same thing. Like, oh, God, the scientists say we need to wear masks. Oh, the scientists say that the masks aren't going to help. The scientists say. Like, no.
It's the same way commercials work. It's just like, so, okay, I have an example. My wife's grandma's basement flooded this morning.
Oh shit!
And I had to go over there and like had the shop vac, and we cleaned a whole bunch of shit up and sucked. And the consensus was, and I agreed with it, was that we had to call King Services. But before King Services existed, or before a company like that existed, what did people do? They fucking dried the shit out on their own. So no, you don't have to call King Services, but like King Services makes you think when you hear those ads on the radio,
they're the only commercial, one. They say call King Services 11 times. Yeah. You've said it 4 times in the last 2 seconds.
And they make you think that that's the only answer or the only solution to your problem.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to, we were talking about it on the last show of your, was it your air filter or whatever it was on your car?
Cabin filter.
Yeah, no, they would have you believe that this is something that you need us for this. No, I don't.
Nope.
No, I don't.
But everybody thinks that now. Like, oh, I don't know how to fix my own this. I don't know how to fix my own that. Like, I don't, but I damn sure know somebody who knows how to do it and isn't going to fucking drill me.
2 things. One, people don't like to learn, like, by and large. It's just it's challenging, it's difficult, it's especially as they get older. Kids like to learn, but adults don't like to learn as much. And for 2, to go back to the, as you said, holding on to something, I think that's a really good way to describe it. It's the idea that all of this is random and there is no God and there is no devil and there is no afterlife and there is no real genuine meaning, that we're all just chemical reactions and scientific results.
It's incredibly frightening, because then you wake up and look in the mirror.
That's way too heavy and way too scary for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just, and I'm not even saying necessarily that that's what I believe. I'm just saying that line of thinking is terrifying to
a lot
most
of
people.
That's why religion and science grabs people, because it gives them an answer.
It gives meaning.
And I don't know if
think
any
that
of
your
that shit is
entire
wrong.
life really has no meaning is a really, really depressing idea.
Oh, it's one of the few things that gets me through the
day. You're just a blip on the radar, and
your thought that life has no meaning gets you through the day.
Yeah.
See,
because nothing I can do can fuck anything up so bad that it even matters. Like, if you think about it, that's
a good way of thinking.
To an extent, yeah, you're not wrong.
They do that. A butterfly farts in China, and it causes a hurricane. That whole chaos theory thing. Mm-hmm. When our atmosphere ends, like, that stops. Right. We're really contained. Like, I can fart at space all day, and as soon as it hits probably the ionosphere, it's not going any further. Like, that chain reaction.
Right.
I can't fuck anything up beyond this planet right now. I don't have Tom Cruise money.
Right. No, I mean, I'm talking about our personal worlds, man.
Well played.
That's a nice callback.
Well played.
Well, you're kind of in the whole "the world ends with you" idea, right? Like, it begins when you're born and it ends when you die. And
well, no, because I have kids, so I know that at some point
you will sort of continue.
Legacy is a real
you
thing.
made 3 new robots.
There's that legacy there. But like, for example, like my grandpa died this summer, and like it just kind of like makes it doesn't take away his contributions over the years, because I have great memories of him. He fought in the Korean War, and all sorts of all this stuff. But then like now he's gone, and then so that chapter is over, and then eventually, like, people, I still talk about him, but he doesn't care because he's dead.
Right. Well, and they say people die twice. You die the day you die, and then the last time somebody says your name.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, like, for a guy like me, that's not going to be very long. Like, when I go,
right. That's where I think that's where I think my headspace is like, my second death isn't going to come too far along after my first death.
Right.
And then, like, I'm not going to be Abraham Lincoln or George Washington and have the memory of me repainted in a way that's so forgiving of every past indiscretion. But I don't think anybody will anymore.
There's too much content now. I mean,
and people's memories are too short now.
Yeah. People will watch this right now. All 4 of you, lots and lots of love. Thank you. But they're not going to go back and rewatch this. And then some people will listen to it. Some people will watch the clips we put up, and then it'll fade into YouTube obscurity.
And then this is just another one. Yes.
Unless somebody picks up that crazy ass shit I was just saying. And I didn't even get into the Saturn stuff, like why that matters.
Yeah.
But which we can go back to if you want to. But this will be there forever.
Yeah.
And somebody could find this 50 years from now, 60 years from now, 100 years from now, and just be like, wow, those dudes really spent their time poorly.
Yeah, exactly.
People in 2020 needed better hobbies. I've always looked at it, or at least I don't know that I'd say always, but for many, many years now, for a long time, I've looked at it in the sense that, and it's, I guess for me, it's my comfort in the way that religion is for some people, or science is for others. Everything ends, but there is no actual ending. It's like you said in reference to your grandfather passing away. That chapter is closed, but the things just keep on going.
Yeah.
And it's just it's this constantly influx thing. life is. And relationships end, jobs end, everything ends. But when it ends, it's not the actual end. It's as much as, people always say the stupid thing of, one door closes, another one opens, but that's literally what it is. There is no actual end.
No. Well,
even when there's no people around, it's still, it's the unless we blow the fucking thing up.
Up until about 4 months ago, they thought it was the heat death of the universe, which turns out that that's not even a thing anymore.
I saw a funny meme on Facebook the other day that somebody was saying something about, they were challenging the idea of climate change. And they're like, do you really think that the climate hasn't been constantly changing on this planet for the entirety of the length of the planet?
Right.
Like, it's not, are we helping it? No, we're making it worse, but it was still there prior to
go
us,
back to the
and it'll be here after
example,
us.
The space farts example, if the sun farts, we could all die right now.
Yeah. It could have happened. Could have happened a couple hours ago, and it's about to, we're about to find out.
And there's people who are scared of that shit all the time. They wander around afraid of that. And it blows my mind.
The doomsday prepper folks.
Yeah. And we've talked about that several times on this show.
Yeah.
Existential threats like that are just not something you can worry about.
No.
It's like living in Australia and being afraid
you.
of venomous creatures. Like, you just can't be.
They'll wind up running your entire life.
Yeah. You'll always be looking for that funnel web spider or that fucking snake or the drop bears. And
I had to explain to Matthew about why we would never go to Australia. And I was like, no, because Australia is just full of things that want to kill you. And they're really, really good at it. Like, I watched a program on, I think it was on National Geographic or something, but they were talking about the most deadly snakes in the world.
Yeah, like 9 of them are down there.
Yeah, 8 or 9 of the top 10 are all in Australia. Fuck that. Mm-mm.
That's awesome.
No thanks. Awesome. I'll go to Detroit before I go there.
Go to the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, man.
What are your thoughts on being the oldest person in your tree alive?
Oh, I'll never have that problem.
Okay, well,
you mean like if it was like replicas and
no.
my family died in a horrible car accident, and they is that what you're talking about?
No. Like, okay, so
exactly.
At some point, like,
you will be the oldest,
maybe. Unless
your parents die, your siblings die, blah blah blah, and everyone in your family that is still alive is
younger than me.
Yeah,
I'm the senior.
Okay.
Of the group. I think about that every once in a while. It's like, what do I have to live up to at that? Like, there's nothing to live up to at that point.
I'm the oldest, so like I'm in charge, or I'm the oldest, so like all this responsibility falls on me, or I'm the oldest, so neener suck my.
No, it's just more. It's more narcissistic than that. It's more just like, I'm the oldest.
King shit of fuck mountain.
I've seen more than anybody else in my family tree.
It sucks to be me because I don't have anybody to answer to, or to like I guess you answer to your kids too, and the people that are younger than you. But at the same time, like,
I'd like to pretend that's not true, but
you're right. But your kids don't come up. Your kids aren't going to come up to you, and you're not going to feel the same sense of like pride when your dad is like, "Hey," or like you would when your dad's like, "Hey, I'm proud of you."
Mm-hmm.
And your kids come up to you and they're like, "Hey, I'm proud of you," and you're like, "Fuck you."
Are you?
Well, then, I don't know.
Oh. God, Alex said something like that the other day, and it lifted me.
Yeah,
up.
I was gonna say, man.
I was like, "Jiminy Christmas."
I think it would. I think it would be
I
think it would be the way. Like, it had to be the way it was worded. Obviously, kids being proud of their parents, that's impactful to the parents too. But I don't know. I just feel like there's more currency having it come from
what you perceive as a superior.
Paternal figure over.
Oh, I think the conversation the other day when I posted that Homelander meme pretty much covered that.
Oh, about
I don't have any superiors.
Yeah. That would be a very, very unusual.
It seems like it would be lonely.
It does.
I'll run my mouth.
It seems like it'd be really lonely.
I think it's not like it's. I don't have like a fuck you attitude towards my kids if they had like pride in what I do, and I think they probably would in some degree, but at the same time I feel like there's something lost there when you lose, like
you don't have anyone left to prove anything to,
right?
Kind of.
That's kind of where I'm going with it. Yeah, that's kind of where the thought process is. It's like, you know, I can do what I can do and impress my kids, and that's fine, because I've always, you know, because every kid's dad is their hero to some degree, so they're always going to kind of look up to you as long as you're like a good parent, not a piece of shit. And I think I'm a fairly okay parent. Do okay.
I think it's a perspective thing, really. I mean, I think that all three of us would probably handle that situation and react to that situation differently.
Yeah,
probably. Honestly, I that's not to say that one would be right or one would be wrong. I think it's just more of a, like I said, it's an individualistic thing.
Yeah. Well, and you know, you have a point though, because like every once in a while, you know, you'll be leaving dad's house or something. He'll give you a big hug and be like, "I'm proud of you, buddy." You know that hug?
Mm-hmm.
The "I'm proud of you, buddy" hug?
Mm-hmm.
One of the best things in the whole world.
Yeah.
And
then what happens when that's gone?
Then I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you miss
like,
it.
You know, the last one I got could be the last one I ever get.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, my dad's had 2 heart attacks, so I think about that frequently now.
Well, really, like, you just need to turn on that Russian face app and look at that and just pretend that it's
pet my face, pet my dad face.
No, man, just harvest
your own beard.
Harvest his neural pathways before he goes, and then we can set up the pod in the back, and 17 days later we can grow.
How many pods do you have? Do you have enough pods?
Don't tell me you have 3 pods. Tell me you have 4. What?
That was actual dialogue. Okay,
Yeah.
replicas. Let's segue into replicas.
You don't want the...
Oh no. Let's go back. I want more on the...
Okay, Ward had asked, how do you escape the simulation? And I started babbling about Saturn.
Well, it was a rabbit hole. This is the...
Yeah, man.
And that's the thing. Like,
that's what conspiracy theories are, though, man. It's one leads to another to another.
So there is this storm on Saturn that's 6 or 7 times the size of Earth or something at the pole. And it looks like a hexagon from space. When in fact, now that they've got the measurements of it, it's a giant fucking cube. It's a big like cube-shaped storm.
Okay.
And
man, space is cool.
I know. There's so many things out there. And so this big cube-shaped storm on this planet that's connected to all of these negative archetypes, we'll call it. We'll call it because it's basically the Jungian archetype of the adversary is what this thing is, whether it's Satan or Saturn or Kronos or
give it a name.
1100. Excuse me. Yeah, they're attacking me now. The adversary is
he knows too
hitting
much.
me with directed energy weapons,
space lasers
from space
lasers.
So this cube shows up in almost every religion, in all kinds of sci-fi. I mean, where have you seen pictures of Mecca with the giant black cube made out of stone that they have to walk around for their Muslim religion?
No, sir.
Okay. And they've got them on, there's like 60 some of them in New York City. Every major city in the world has got a black cube in it somewhere. And apparently it all ties into this one Saturnian cult, right?
Okay.
But, okay, so what's his name? The guy that faked the moon landing and filmed The Shining and... Kubrick. He, with 2001 A Space Odyssey...
Oh, the monolith.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay.
Okay. People touch it, they start killing each other.
Basically advance to whatever they take an evolutionary leap.
Right. So the one that he goes to, they moved it to Jupiter. In the original script, it was Saturn, where they were going to go find the one that was linked to the one on the moon. Mm-hmm. Like they were communicating or whatever. And he overcomes Hal and he makes it and he gets there and he turns into the space baby, right? Mm-hmm.
I never have read the book.
It's good. I like the book better. The movie, difficult to watch. It's like Deliverance. It's just hard for me to stay awake. Which is weird because there's no bows and arrows in it.
It's not a bad movie. It's just I don't know.
It's a fucking slog. It's like 3.5 hours long.
Yeah. It's almost too heady.
So the idea is that this storm on Saturn is connected to it's like the reset button, the eject button, the get out of the simulation button.
Oh, okay.
So when he said, how do you get out? Basically 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
And I don't know, Kubrick had a lot of stuff.
You just basically like transcend.
You just move
beyond it. It's not even that you really get out of it per se.
You probably just move up a level.
Yeah. Okay.
But and I think that's why people thought The Matrix was that way, because in the second one he gets out but he has power over the robots there, and they're like, oh well, maybe it's a layered Matrix. Well, maybe we're in a layered Matrix, and there's been you wake up in one, you come out of another one. Like, I didn't like being an actor and eating steak, so I took the dude's pill and got out, and now I'm a freedom fighter battling these robot overlords, but they turn out not to be real either. And I wish they would have gone that way. It seemed like that was the direction they were going, especially when Smith moved himself into a person before the end of the second one. I'm anxious to see what the fourth one looks like.
It'll be interesting. I'll watch it.
Oh yeah. If for no other reason than Keanu Reeves is so much better now than he was then.
I was not wild about the second one. Was decent. I really genuinely don't care for the third one, but it's cool mythology, and I like the idea behind the movies, so I'll at least give it a try.
I think having a movie trilogy that is 3 different genres is not the best of ideas if you want to keep fans.
No.
The first one's almost like a film noir. I guess you'd call it a techno noir.
It's like a techno noir thriller.
The second one is a superhero movie before superhero movies were popular.
Yeah.
Like, he is Superman. He's flying around, and he even says, oh, he's up there doing his Superman thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, why'd you say that? And then the third one is like
subtle, eh?
The third one is like One Punch Man. You ever watch that? That's my favorite anime.
I heard it was cool, but I never did watch it.
Oh, God. They make fun of that stupid anime shit. Hi, Mara.
I'm really take it or leave it. Hi, Mara. I'm really take it or leave it on anime, honestly.
I love you, baby girl.
Some of it I like, but
I was just talking about you being my boss. But yeah, I haven't found any other anime I get into, but One Punch Man is hilarious because he gets his ass handed to him by like a mosquito, and he can this season finale for the first one. I don't give a fuck about your spoilers. This like intergalactic warrior gets good night, sweetheart. Travels across the universe to fight him because he picked up some huge power reading on his sensors, and he lives up to his name and beats him in one punch. Like, and he's just bored.
I was going to say, isn't, from what I've heard, the kind of the gist of it is, what would life be like for a guy who does that, and how mundane and boring would it really be when you were just
and he just doesn't give a shit. Like he's just this.
Is it still on Netflix?
Should be.
I can check it out.
It's like half-hour episodes, and there's 12 of them.
Do you think your daughter's going to think you're famous?
No.
Grow up thinking you're famous. Keep on doing the podcast. She's going to be like, my dad's on TV.
My daddy's on TV.
It's funny that you'd say that, because I went back earlier today and I was rewatching the portion that we talked about replicas before I watched it, because I wanted to kind of just refresh myself on what you had discussed with it and whatnot. And while I was watching it, Annabelle she'd look at the TV and she'd go, "That's you on the TV, Daddy. But that's not really you. That's just TV you." And then she'd give me a hug and say, "This is real you. You're not real on the TV." Like because she's aware. We discuss about how, the TV, it's pretend. It's not, real and stuff. And so, she apparently television version of me.
She sussed you out.
Actually real.
If she holds on to nothing else, I hope she holds on to that.
My daughter's like, you doing the Bobcast? She said, I think she still says Bobcast.
Nice. Bobcats, Dad?
Doing the Bobcast.
That's awesome.
So what's next, Ward?
Do we want to move on to replicants, or do we want to...
I mean, I don't have a ton to add outside of what we talked about.
Let's just.
I like how you've been peppering it into the conversation. I think that's the best way to do that.
Well, it's
great.
I guess my like 5-second review would be watch it. You won't want your time back, and you'll probably enjoy yourself.
You might at least laugh.
If you don't laugh, I'm concerned for you.
Calling back to my description of it or the last show.
Yeah.
How did I do?
The only thing that I would really disagree on was I kind of touched on this with you when we talked about it while I was watching it, but I don't think the comedic effects that are, or the comedic parts that are in it, you don't
think they were going for that
middle ditches? No, I think that it was. I think they had these couple little moments in the script that were basically like levity, just kind of lightened the mood of this really, really heavy, heady subject matter of cloning people and copying their consciousness.
Their Pulp Fiction scene when they shoot Marvin in the head.
The beginning part when the robot's ripping itself to pieces and screaming, "Who am I? Who am I?" That was actually pretty intense.
Yeah.
I mean, still the CG wasn't well done, and it was really janky, and nothing in the movie is really all that well done, but it was at least like, oh man, in the right hands, that'd be a cool scene.
Did it seem to you like it was almost filmed in like 4:3 aspect ratio?
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a 4:3 aspect ratio movie.
Yeah.
I know it was like
it.
Do you see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
That movie had a $30 million budget, according to Wikipedia.
It's crazy. What'd they do with the money?
30. Well, there's a whole lot of, as I was telling Chris when we were driving here, there's probably at least like 8 scenes, maybe 10 scenes of Keanu Reeves with the visor thing on, just doing the Minority Report.
Oh yeah. He's doing all this
saying weird, just science words, correlate the distillation process. Like just,
I bet you that was probably 27 million of the budget, because that part actually looked like he was like, how do you choreograph that? Do you have to sit out with a guy that's like, okay,
right,
first you're going to do this, then you're going to do this, and then
or do they just let him do it, and then the CG people build it in
like,
off
of
what Keanu does? No, I don't think that the comedy bits were designed for, as you described it, like actual comedy. I don't think that was there. There's just this. There's a kind of Frankenstein. So there were 2 things that I really, really were struck by with the movie.
It was an unfinished movie. I don't feel like they finished in certain places, or they didn't film scenes, or they cut scenes short.
I think it was,
or they just were like
really bad script, man.
Like,
I think it was a really, really
take one
bad
that'll
script.
work.
Now, do you think it was the script, or do you think it was the editing, or both? I bet it was both.
It was probably both, honestly, because the editing doesn't cover some of the, like, okay, spoilers again. The scene when the little girl has the nightmare. She has a nightmare where she remembers, because the last thing that the kids remember is the car accident, and then everyone dies, and they were on their way to a little vacation thing while this was happening. So they have these weird, like the wife brings it up to him. She's like, we were supposed to be going on a boating trip, and I don't remember us going on a boating trip, and I don't even remember what I had for dinner last night, and blah, blah, blah. Well, the girl has a nightmare that she remembers their death. So he very, very, very easily just basically jacks into her brain after he gives her a sedative and puts her to sleep, and goes in and edits her memories so that she doesn't remember that. And his wife catches him in the process.
What's the thing he said? What's the thing that guy says on screen?
That bitch's memory too.
Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, very super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Just plugs into her brain and boop, boop, boop. Nope, you don't remember those anymore.
So who cares if the wife sees him doing it?
Well, because
then he has to fess up.
Because then he has to fess up to her that
she's like, you ain't digging in my brain.
Yeah.
Oh, give her a sedative too. Wait for her to go to bed.
So she comes down.
Bill Cosby her.
She comes downstairs, and I wish I should have like recorded the scene or something like that, because it's so amazing. It was one of my favorite parts of the movie. She comes downstairs and finds him just finishing up removing her memories from the car accident, and she's like, what are you doing down here? And Keanu's like, it's okay. we should go upstairs so that I can explain this to you. And she's like, no, you need to tell me what's going on right now. What's wrong with our daughter? And he's like, I just gave her a mild sedative. She's perfectly fine. Whoa. Come upstairs with me and we can explain about this. And she just looks at him. They have to put this helmet thing on that like connects to your neural pathways.
Cool. She
looks at him and she just says, stop lying to me. Take that thing off of her head. And then walks upstairs. And that's so again, that's not editing and scene. That's not editing. That's just editing. That's really, totally, really bad script writing.
That's like, not even unfinished. Like that's.
And there are several scenes like that in the movie where you're just like,
was it ghost written by Tommy Wiseau?
I don't know, man, but
like, was he just like, oh, let's do The Room, but in clone heads?
As I told you,
I almost feel like they just had a good science fiction story idea, like an okay skeleton of an idea, and then they were like, fuck, let's write it.
So
then they fucking wrote it. It would be like the three of us sitting down and then like we stay here till midnight and write a script real quick.
Oh. There was
nice fucking 52
I got
pages.
a really like Frankenstein. Like, did you watch was it Victor Frankenstein, the one with McAvoy and Daniel Radcliffe?
I didn't see that one. Sounds tits though.
The Thomas Middleditch and Keanu, they have this very like Dr. Frankenstein and Igor type relationship with each other. I got a lot of vibes of Frankenstein out of it, and the other one that I got was like, Reanimator.
Really?
If you took Reanimator and took away all the tongue-in-cheekness and all the over-the-top gore and tried to make it like, okay, let's make Reanimator, but let's update it for 21st century and let's do it completely, sincerely straightforward. And it's as silly as that sounds.
What was Keanu's name?
William.
Oh, I was gonna
Bill.
William Bill West. Yeah. Billy West.
The
Herbert's great grandson.
You touched on the fact that the company, they're trying to put consciousness into a robot, but then they also
weaponize it. Yeah,
they also clone people.
Yeah,
and it's never really. And then the movie, and again, I'm sorry to spoil the twist on this one because it is actually a twist. But when his bad guy boss is like, "My name's not even Jones. We aren't a biomechanical company." And it's all of a sudden it's like, nope, they're not this weird, biomechanical engineering type company. It's some underground, secret militarized organization.
That's what I'm saying. They had like they had a skeleton of an idea that like just fell together over the course of like a 2-hour.
Somebody pitched Keanu Reeves
stoned writing session.
Keanu Reeves was a producer on it. Somebody pitched
sold
Keanu
him the
Reeves
idea,
an idea of a movie, and they didn't take it much farther than the idea.
And he's got comfortable for the rest of his life money at least. Yeah, because he gave most of his
from
salary
his work in the Lake House movie.
It's
of course it was the Lake House. He got a great back end on that. It was, shit up front.
I just that just reminded me. I don't want to forget, but I watched the Quentin Tarantino, The First 8. It's a documentary on the Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, I heard about this, but I haven't seen it.
I fell asleep for like the last probably 25-30 minutes, so I got to go back and rewatch that end part. But there was the money that he got for Pulp Fiction, or not Pulp Fiction, but Reservoir Dogs, was residuals for being an Elvis impersonator on a Golden Girls episode.
Really?
He had like $20,000 from Golden Girl residuals.
Does he still get that?
Probably.
Because it plays like 6 hours a day.
Probably.
So I'm sure he gets something. Jiminy Christmas.
One episode.
Wow.
$20,000.
Alice Eve plays a very believable robot person.
She's gorgeous.
Which that is not me complimenting her. That is a very firmly backhanded compliment.
That's the wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a robot before she died.
She was a robot before she died. It's
the kids are cookie cutter.
And there's the thing, they don't ever touch on it anymore, but like at one point they're sitting down and they're having dinner, and there's all these little subtle things that you see throughout the movie to let you know that the replicas are definitely not 100% right. but they don't touch on it. Like they're sitting down having dinner, and the son goes to scoop his mashed potatoes out of the bowl, and instead of putting them on his plate, he just plops them into his glass of milk. And the mom goes, "Oh, honey, you missed your plate." And he looks
you
confused.
think that's not going to track with the mom?
He looks confused, and he goes, "Huh?" Like as though he doesn't realize that he's supposed to put the food on the plate. And then that's just that. They don't
address it or carry it any further.
He goes to get a glass of orange juice, and he's eating a bowl of cereal at the time, and instead of pouring the orange juice into the empty glass, he just goes to pour it into the cereal. And
so at the end of the movie, he still has these janky kids that are broken.
Yeah, there's no.
And those kids grew up to be in our government. They are Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden.
But
broken replicants.
As I said earlier, when we were on our way up here talking, whether it's a good movie or the worst fucking movie you can imagine, if it's entertaining and engages you, no matter how bad a movie is, it's fun. And in my opinion,
I sat there and watched the whole thing. I watched it beginning to end.
I had a ton of fun watching it, scratching my head. There's
not a lot of movies on your TV anymore. There's a small amount that I will put my phone down to pay attention to, and even that one made the cut.
It was. You won't want your time back. You'll definitely chuckle. It was everything that I want from a shitty movie. It was funny. It made me laugh. It was stupid, aggressivly stupid at times. And
Middleditch was
growing
awful.
a whole person and
in 17 days.
Yeah, when he brings
how hideous would that look, growing a human being over the course of 17 days?
Keanu Reeves.
I just wouldn't look in the tank, bro.
He rescues. he pulls their dead bodies from the crashed car and brings them home. Copies their consciousness onto these little things that are jacked up looking computer drive things. And then gets Middleditch to his house where they build this whole fucking thing in his basement to be able to grow these clones and copy everything over. And then he just tells Middleditch, he's like, "Okay, I need you to get rid of the bodies." And he's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can't do it. So I need you to dispose of my wife and my 3 children's dead bodies." And Middleditch is just like,
"All right, okay, man, I get you owe me one."
Yeah, it's just like,
okay, I gotta ask.
It's weird, man. It's really weird.
Where does this stand on the whoa sector? The whole movie, like as far as Keanu movies go, like how high does it hit on the whoa?
The whoa-meter?
Yeah, the whoa-ometer.
There's 2 or 3 parts that got what I would consider like the movie is not a 10 on the whoa meter, but there are a couple moments in the movie, the one where the bad guy reveals that they're not actually a medical, because it turns the whole movie on its head. He's a scientist working for this company who's trying to save the world, and then it's like, nope.
Speaking of which, the cloning thing,
there's and when Middleditch casually mentions, "Oh yeah, no, we can clone people."
We also clone, and then it's like at that point, Keanu. I'm like, why aren't we putting the consciousness into clone bodies instead of these metal machines that don't understand? Like the whole premise is like janky. The metal machines don't understand what's going on and why they aren't in themselves. So why not clone them and put them in themselves?
And why not put the 3rd kid in a fucking robot body, or at least copy the neural pathway.
He did copy her neural pathway, but then he didn't have anywhere to put her.
He copied it. He just had it sitting basically on a hard drive waiting to be able to put it somewhere.
Yeah, get an SSD and just hold on to it.
And somehow he resolved the issue at the end of the movie, but I don't know why after the timer went off on the other 3 that he didn't just throw her in the toaster next.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know why different fucking things that could be done.
I think that a lot of people lean on the whole, that's a plot hole argument in movies where it's not necessarily like an actual
you have to suspend disbelief.
But this movie has several genuine plot holes where you're just like, wait, what now?
Wait.
Yeah.
Like the cops showing up on his door. That's literally not followed up on.
It's a non-issue because there was no reason for it to happen because it was anticlimactic. There was nothing.
Keanu Reeves and Thomas Middleditch alone in one night steal like
30 batteries or something from the neighborhood.
Not just that, but everything that they steal from the company. They steal literally millions of dollars of high-end
clone vats. I would assume billions of dollars at that point. Those are clone vats.
He actually says each one of those vats, this is a direct quote from the
7
movie,
million?
1.7 million.
Oh, 1.7.
Yeah.
Fuck you. It's a clone vat. That's billions, man.
But they do all of this by themselves in one night. And no,
those things
Oceans
were
too
heavy too.
Yeah,
they were showed like that would have been the best part to have that showing them like
they steal them from the facility in one of the big like UPS size moving trucks that the company owns that has its logo plastered all over the side of it. One of the things that I thought it was a really great unintentional hilarious moment. They're bringing them to his house and he's backing into the driveway in the middle of the night. He mentions that it's like 2 or 2:30 in the morning. Well, the truck beeps when it backs up like big trucks are so often want to do. And it's just like there's no discretion involved whatsoever. It's like I said, check it out. It's a fun, stupid movie.
Wow. This has been our replicas.
Yeah,
plug part 2.
I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
We'll have to come back for part 3 when Chris watches the movie.
Oh yeah,
there we go.
Militias in the current climate.
Oh
Militias.
Man,
what do we think?
Was this
you sent
crazy?
the call out the militia.
Oh, this fucking asshole.
Wait, what is this?
Did you not see this one?
No.
This guy put the so this is the guy posted this up to warn the local Antifa people that there were folks putting up things on what's that fucking list? Craigslist. They put this up on Craigslist that they're calling out the militia, and it's like a 7-photo screen cap nonsense about the organized militia, the difference between an organized and what's the other one? Unorganized militia. Oh, that wasn't difficult. Used to be like men between 17 and 40, but because now federal law prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex and age, all non-military citizens now comprise the unorganized militia. Like, fuck yeah, bro. And then he starts talking about how they're going to take out these Antifa fascists.
Go to the next page, Ward. This is fascinating.
Well, read it. You got to read the listeners.
Sorry.
Okay.
I thought you were putting it up on the screen.
No, okay. We are currently involved in a civil war. Leaders of Black Lives Matter and Antifa have declared it. When a civil war is declared by a domestic enemy of the United States,
Democratic enemy. Slow down. I already made fun of Biden and Pelosi. We can't go too deep on that side.
The duty to put down that civil war lies with the militia. Both organized militia and the unorganized militia. Law enforcement organizations are equipped to enforce laws against the criminals who violate them. But as we've painfully seen, our law enforcement organizations are completely inadequate and ineffective in dealing effectively.
It's so fucking poorly done.
Yeah.
Ineffective in dealing effectively. Get a public affairs office to put this shit out right.
Yeah.
Call me up. You can give me, $6,000-$7,000 of your fucking money, and I can craft your press statements for you.
The organized militia, as defined by federal law, is the National Guard and the Air National Guard. The unorganized militia was originally to be comprised of men ages 17 to 40, but federal law now prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex and age. Therefore, all non-military citizens now comprise the unorganized militia. The United States, as members as members of the unorganized militia, we have the legal authorization and duty to put down an attempted insurrection by those who have declared a civil war.
Did I go too far?
Yeah, you went too far. A sheriff in Clackamas County, Oregon, has declared that stopping people at gunpoint when entering areas devastated by wildfire is illegal, granted under normal circumstances involving criminals intent on looting areas devastated by natural disasters like the forest fires that have burned millions of acres, cities, and homes in California, Oregon. And man, this is poorly written.
Mm-hmm.
The authority to enforce laws against those criminals does fall under the authority of local and state law enforcement agencies, but these are not now normal circumstances because arrests have been made of individuals committing arson who may in fact be members of Black Lives Matter / Antifa or wannabe supporters. And because BLM Antifa have declared they are engaged in a civil war against the United States and its people, we must assume that at least some of these fires have been deliberately set to further that declaration of civil war. The framers of our Constitution.
This is the part where I fell asleep.
Yeah, I was going to say this.
It's a lot of malarkey.
It's this.
So he goes on.
So this guy.
I know from personal involvement in forming and maintaining a strong militia presence, you didn't. You're an anonymous poster on rants.
No, his name's at the end of it. I found him. I found his profile on Facebook.
Oh, is he a nut job?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I love
Carl F. Warden.
Carl F. Warden.
Okay, wait, go back one page, please.
And if Trump does, so do we all.
That if you
fucking
are using tactics nearly identical to those used by insurgents in the Middle East wars, they are posing as mostly peaceful demonstrators allegedly infiltrated by bad actors intent on violence. In Iraq and Afghanistan, there have been many instances where our soldiers were forced to fire on the armed individuals hiding amongst the citizens. They would then take and hide the dropped weapon of their fallen comrades and claim our soldiers fired on an innocent group of peacefully protesting. We can expect the same from BLM Antifa.
That's right. known as the opposite of a throwaway.
To my knowledge. Okay, can you go to the next one, please? This guy is nuts.
Yeah.
This is great. And I still don't entirely, he's so all over the place. I don't entirely understand what it is that he's trying to get. That's why I wanted to get to the end of it.
Basically, he
wants babies to use guns to put down riots.
Anybody that speaks out against his point of view, he's like, we must shoot them.
I don't know if you saw the recent interview between President Trump and Jeanine Pirro on Fox, but when Pirro directly asked President Trump how all this violence will end, President Trump told her a, quote, backlash was about to happen by the citizens. Trump's answer was somewhat cryptic, opaque, and probably necessary due to the upcoming election. But if my instincts serve
cryptic, opaque. So he says it was like cryptic and opaque, which means he didn't say that. But we're gonna assume that's what he said.
Upon this blank slate.
Yeah.
If Trump is real, if my instincts serve me, once Trump is reelected, I believe that he is going to come right out and tell the militia we are authorized to deal with this insurrection. And if Trump does, we will.
Attaboy, Carl.
So this is just like a rallying cry
for fucking nut jobs. Yeah.
Okay. Where is this guy at?
Clarkston.
This is in our town. This man lives.
No,
he does.
Or did he? It got posted.
He posted it here.
Someone local posted it and was like, "This is scary."
Is it? Oh, is that Clarkston somewhere else?
No, this is Clarkston, Washington.
Oh,
Lewiston. Well, Lewiston Craigslist was where.
Where does this? I want to look at this guy up.
But yeah, look. I don't like the people shooting cops. I don't like fucking Antifa. I don't like BLM as an organization. I think it's absolutely criminal. But also, I don't support like just dudes running down the street shooting other people. Like if you're defending your house, that's one thing. But
if you are my friend and support Trump, this is 21 hours ago, you are my friend. If you are my friend but you support Biden, you are my friend.
If you feel the need to degrade those who feel differently than you, maybe we are not friends. Are you sure this is the
contradicts guy No, but he's got some other stuff.
If 2020 was a motorcycle ride.
Man, I don't even know if well, you've got him up on the screen for us to look at, but if you scroll down to the next one, you'll see you'll see the kind of
real good.
You'll see the kind of thing that it really oh no, it's not that one. Keep going. Sorry, I thought it was the next one, but it's there, right there. Okay. 600 yards, no problem. Don't worry, Californians. I'm in a free state, not yours. That kind of stuff. I don't think people really give that kind of thing is far more frightening to me.
That to me, he's
than
saying
a guy who writes notes in his high school notebook about the kids bullying him and he wishes they were dead. This is the adult version of that.
What he means though is he's got an AR and he's out target shooting. He's got a full capacity mag there. It looks like 20, and he's saying, "Don't worry, I'm not in California. You don't have to send people after me. I'm in a state where this is allowed." That's the message he's trying to get across, and I think he's just if he wrote that other thing, he's just bad at writing shit.
I guess I
see what you're saying.
I guess I can see that. The way that I took it, especially with some of the things that I've seen here recently, like somebody put somebody spray painted. That's funny.
Okay, so far I like this guy.
Somebody.
You need to put that dog one though. That should be the.
That's pretty funny. Somebody spray painted on like the guardrail type thing, this big concrete slab guardrail. Idaho lives matter. Go back to California. Like there's been a lot of that sentiment. I mean, it's we've dealt with it for as long as we've lived here. There's always
there's always somebody that hates California.
So this is a post that aligns with HUD's.
But there's been a real outpouring as of late of
anti-California,
anti anything. Just if you don't live in Idaho and you aren't already in Idaho, get the fuck out. It's been really prevalent lately, and it weirds me out. And like I said, I don't know that kind of stuff.
Hate Ben Shapiro.
I do too. His voice is terrible.
People talking so casually about, oh, come on my land and I'll shoot you up. Like I love the Second Amendment. I love being able to own guns.
I love shooting cans.
Love shooting guns. But these people that are just they're like borderline eager to fucking shoot somebody.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's that Wisconsin kid or whatever the
one that killed the 3 people or shot 3 people
with the blue gloves on.
They're just looking for a reason to fucking shoot somebody. Is all it is. It's these people scare me, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel fortunate kind of being where we are because we're kind of removed from all of that. But
I've seen one protest.
The militia stuff. It's not at a point right now where it scares me, but I could see it getting there. I had to piggyback off of that.
He's got some good memes.
He's got some decent memes, man. I'm gonna give him that. His meme game ain't bad.
Motherfucker's dank.
It kind of goes along with the thing that I was saying about being so eager to shoot somebody. I was at work.
Okay,
I was at work and I had a guy. It was when they were having the protests going on in downtown Lewiston, and they had the people out there, armed, walking around Main Street. And
I missed like that one.
Yeah, it was.
I wasn't down there.
It was a couple months ago. But I had a customer who was in the shop, and he was part of the demonstration down there. He was walking around with his AR out, and he made some comment about how, if I wasn't doing anything, I should come down there and join him. And I said, man, I don't mean any disrespect or anything like that, but I don't really talk politics at work. And he responded, he's like, this isn't political.
Isn't it?
And I was like, no, dude, it absolutely is political. It has a lot to do with discussion on the Second Amendment. It has a lot to do with, legally organizing militias and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of political involvement in the things that you're doing down there. And his response scared the fuck out of me, because he, word for word, he says, I don't know, man. All I know is I spent all day last Saturday walking around downtown strapped with my AR, and that felt pretty fucking great.
God, maybe he should have been buying more pot.
And that's.
I went assault rifle on some
those kind of people, that kind of mentality, man, that scares the fuck out of me. Because, like I said, those are people who they're just looking for a reason to shoot somebody. They are very, very fucking ready and willing to do it.
And the problem is there are people that are looking for a reason to confront a person walking around with an AR.
Exactly. because there's people on the opposite end of the spectrum who are, vehemently against that to that degree. And it's combustible.
It's because they spent so much on that AR and they haven't been able to shoot anything but targets.
Yeah.
And they really, really want to use it.
It scares me.
I don't know. I just not a fan. I hate both sides of the argument.
Yep.
And I know that sounds like I'm trying to appease everyone by hating everyone, but
not really.
But fuck all you people. You're not, go home.
The thing is
you know how much content there is to watch now? Just go home and watch some fucking TV and chill the fuck out.
You're not sitting on the fence on the issue, which is what a lot of people try to say is, well, you don't have a dog in the fight. You don't care about it. And I was like, no, I do care. I think you're both fucking wrong.
They're nuts.
I think you guys are both way too far away from rational middle ground thinking. Well,
and it goes back to a conversation we've had at least a couple of times in the past, and it's like fanatics. When you like something so much that you will die for it, you have a problem. If that's not your child or your mother,
you have to be able to walk away. You got to be able to walk away from anything. You can't you can't put all your eggs in the Bill Cosby and Kevin Spacey basket.
Robert De Niro and Heat over here. You got to be able to walk away in 5 seconds.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, it's like somebody just going and buying up all the Cosby and Spacey videos.
Right. Like, I'm not saying that you can't enjoy something. You can enjoy a Marvel movie.
And you can still watch Seven.
You can still watch Seven. You can still watch House of Cards if you can stomach it at this point with the way the politics is in the real world now. You can watch those things and not feel like you've been betrayed by somebody because Kevin Spacey wasn't thinking about you when he fucked that 14-year-old boy in the ass.
Seven is 25 years old this week.
Yeah, and that kid was probably right around that time. And it sucks, but Seven's a good movie. House of Cards is a good show.
Usual Suspects is a great movie.
I watched that not too long ago. It fucking holds up, even though you know the twist.
Yeah.
And you can't say that about, one, a lot of Bryan Singer movies, and two, a lot of movies in general.
Singer, huh?
Yeah.
And he's
got multiple.
He's a raper too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've been failing as a white man because I haven't raped anybody.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess.
No, I find the militia stuff
absurd,
troubling, and I don't understand how they don't see how ridiculous they're being. They lack a level of self-awareness that I don't understand.
Just go home.
Yeah.
Go home. Tend your garden. The fucking rabbits are going to come back.
As you said, fanaticism of any type is not good for people. And when you get fanatic about something that's kind of potentially dangerous, that gets really fucking scary, or it can.
Yeah.
Well, and politics is right up there with science as a new religion.
Whoa.
People are...
I fucking hate that.
And as much as people badmouth, religion, science and politics have become golden calves, and the 10 Commandments used to be up for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you need to be a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim or whatever, but look at those and look at how they apply to life. Like, it's pretty much don't treat people like shit. Don't get so attached to something that's temporal that you think that it's everything. Like the Cosby fans, they're like, oh fuck, oh God, I was so betrayed. He was my idol.
Yeah.
There's your problem. You had an idol. Cut that shit out.
Remove any kind of religious, which it's,
well, and quit idolizing people, because it's like fucking,
you will never not be disappointed.
And I learned, I was always like, I'm a pretty big fan of Louis C.K. And I still like Louis C.K. stuff, but it's a hard conversation to have with a person because they're like, well, he did that shit. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, well,
his was tame.
Let's not have, right. I know exactly. let's not have a big conversation about it because there's a lot of shit to unpack, and I don't feel like fucking doing it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is so now I don't like align with it. Like I can be like, I'm a really big Timothy Olyphant fan. I like Timothy Olyphant. I like the stuff he does. And I feel pretty confident that he's not going to.
He's not going to turn up like being bestiality or something.
Right.
Because like, where are we? I mean, there's been so much. It's got to step up again, and it's going to be somebody nearer and dearer, and it's going to be somebody that matters. And like, oh God, well, is it Tom Hanks? Is that the next one? They've been talking about Tom Hanks and all the kids that disappear and the locations where he took fucking Instagram photos that are now all deleted.
Yeah, you can't fly too close to the sun because what you see it happening right now with Rogan is he's starting to get
apologetic. Oh, I'm sorry.
Torn down. He's getting his shit taken apart because he got that $100 million Spotify deal. Gets over to Spotify. He's got all these people at Spotify, a lot of real, and I'm not like, I hate politicizing it, but it's a lot of liberal people over at Spotify that are wanting to be like, he needs to get taken down.
Talk like that, or we're gonna cancel you.
And if you fuck with their money,
right,
that's where the real problem.
I made a mistake in one of my statements the other day, and now he has to get fact checked.
Yeah,
on all this shit, and he should have been fact checked before any Spotify deal ever got fucking put out. And if he got fact checked before, then it's up to him at that point to be like, well, fuck you, I don't care, or I'm sorry.
Well, and really, that should have been his attitude.
And that should have been his attitude for this is like,
but he can't do that now because he's owned
because
by Spotify.
He's under the yoke.
They've got a lot of money involved in that.
Right.
And they can walk away from that
fast. Deal. Yep. They didn't just give him the money and are like, well, we'll take the risk.
It's not a fucking guaranteed contract like a basketball contract or something like that. You don't just get that money. Buddy.
You don't take that dude and castrate him either, because that's why it's worth watching his show.
That's why it's worth the $100 million.
Up on DMT and does a podcast with fucking Elon Musk.
Imagine
you neuter him and you're gonna completely lose
the meetings they must be having. The
reason why he got where he is.
Yeah.
Right.
And he didn't set up some fucking Cayman Islands account to get his money.
Right. Well, and
fucking, like, where did this go?
And fuck Spotify. You've known that he's been around for this long. You clearly vetted him, and then you cleaned out his whole fucking closet of fucking controversial shows before you moved him over to your network.
Yep.
Did you expect that he was going to fucking just
you knew what you were hiring when you got him, so you don't get to act surprised when he crosses the line.
Right.
You don't. You just don't.
But it
doesn't work that way.
I think it's just like, we've gone into Alex Jones before. We've gone into Rogan some before. I think they're all Project Mockingbird, all of them. I think they're all there. They're planted there, and they're trying to tell you what to think. There's just enough truth in there that you feel like, oh, these guys are really like letting us in on the back door of reality here. This is the real shit. But they're just pointing you at red herrings and stuff.
Right. Well,
there's enough little websites that look like some fucking dude.
It's easy enough to sit there and say, just, to pull like one thing. Like, I think, for example, his whole thing was like, they're starting fires everywhere. And it was like one fire or something like that. One person started a fire, but he's like, everybody's starting fires.
He
says it as point of fact.
There was something like 65 arson arrests on the Western Seaboard states in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, it's not like he was
but it was a blanket
numbers.
Statement that didn't get that he didn't actually have like the statistical evidence to back it up.
He was just
saying something. He was just making a statement,
like a podcaster.
And exactly.
I mean, it's
exactly
that's what we're doing.
And I have caveated everything I've said with like, this is just the shit that I've read over the past 20 years. I don't know if any of it's true.
Right.
I don't know, but who knows what's true? Like, if I don't see it with my own eyes now, or hear it directly from somebody that I trust who saw it with their eyes,
but the listeners glom onto those hosts that say things with a certain amount of confidence and believe what they're saying. So if they're like, if like a Steven Crowder's like, well, black people, right? Am I right? Are they bad? They're bad. And then like the listeners jump onto that.
The problem, you just hit the nail on the head. That was the point I was going to make in reference to this. The internet is big enough now. And especially, I mean, you know, we're fucking 3 nobodies here in Lewiston, and we have the setup to be able to do this and get our views and everything out to the world. It's the world.
All 3 of you.
The world ain't going to see it, but it's
Right
there for
earlier.
the world is, you know, it is there for the world to see. You can find anything on the internet to support your belief system and your opinion and frame of mind. You can. We've got a surprise for you. Ooh, that's ominous.
Who?
Oh, Tori just said her and the kids must have a surprise for me, she says.
Oh, if it bleeds for more than 3 days and doesn't die, don't trust it.
But
surprises.
You can find a, you know, whether it be the chat boards and message boards aren't as prevalent now as they were when the internet was, you know, more in its infancy. But if you wanted to find a chat message board of people who, you know, look at the flat earthers,
Jesus,
they all glommed onto each other. Look at and it was very tongue-in-cheek and done as a joke, but the Pastafarian thing, the giant flying spaghetti monster, you can find a group of people on the internet to go with your line of thinking, no matter what your line of thinking is.
Like I said on the Twitter,
and when it can get validated, that makes it a lot more scary for the rest of the world, because when people feel validated in their beliefs, they reinforce them.
That's why we have furry conventions now.
Yep.
Like I said on the Twitter, 4 days ago, the single worst thing about the internet is that the fucking weirdos found each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. I don't care if you want to dress up like Mickey Mouse and Roger Rabbit and butt fuck each other like that. I don't care.
Who cares?
But don't bring it outside your bedroom. Just don't. Because normal people don't like that shit. And nobody wants to hear that, but normal people don't like that shit. And I'm not weird because I'm not turned on by fucking, you know, people in furry suits. I'm not weird because I don't fuck feet. Like, that's your thing. And that's cool. I mean, well, what was the Carlin joke? 2 grown adults dressing up in leather Boy Scout uniforms, smashing each other in the head with ball peen hammers while they take turns blowing their cat.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. And think of how happy the cat must feel. But don't bring that shit outside the bedroom. It's none of my fucking business. And it's nobody else's business. And if you find your weirdos, that's great. Go do your shameful shit in your garages, because you got more room for an orgy or whatever.
That's how these militia things have actually taken root and became something.
Yeah, some crazy dude who might have been like a fucked up Unabomber is instead
on Craigslist can.
Oh, I can find 50 people.
Found a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I found somebody who thinks like I do.
And
you know,
no one in this room is extreme enough to find 50 fucking crazy people. You know, but that dude is. That dude will fucking throw some gun rhetoric out there and just be like, "Oh, 2A, let's do it. Let's fuck Antifa in the butt with guns." Like, no, bro.
Like that too. Don't
do that.
Everybody's got a voice. They can all connect with each other. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of people are really shitty and really scary.
And most of these people not only don't have anything real to say, but they probably shouldn't be allowed to speak. And you want to know who's a fucking fascist? This guy right here. If I was in charge, most people would not be able to do anything.
Remember when it was difficult for people to achieve a platform for sharing their views? Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because we're all young enough to remember it.
You ever read that interview with the guy that invented the public address system?
When you would, you know, that was back when you first started seeing celebrities and athletes and stuff like that taking a stance for a cause, because, you know, look at Jesse Owens, his demonstration at the Olympics. That shit meant something.
Now it doesn't.
Now those kind of things, they mostly just fall on deaf ears because
they fall off on TikTok videos and shit like that. People are fucking watch me feed this homeless guy that I paid to feed on this video.
Yeah.
Also, if you use TikTok, I probably hate you.
Ugh.
That's
fucking,
the one platform you won't find us on.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck
no.
that. Fuck that shit. That's
And
stuff.
fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
That stuff is. Say what you will about Facebook and even I think that Snapchat is something that should not exist. I would put Snapchat right in line with that TikTok thing, but like they're things that I firmly think that they're like actively damaging and destroying our society.
Yeah,
I really do. That might be a bit of an extreme opinion, but I really do. I think that they erode moral fiber in people in ways that people don't realize they do.
I agree with you, but I also think we are coming at it from a place. I also think that we're coming at it from a place of we're the old people now looking at the young people judgmentally, but a lot less harm came from like a television programming when we were kids than what you're seeing now on the internet. Our kids can access anything. Our kid, my kid the other day,
It's similar but different.
That guy that killed himself. Did you see that?
No.
He did a live. He just live streamed himself for hours, just sitting in front of his camera, and then I think it got shared on Facebook or Instagram or something like that. But he just ended up like blowing his brains out.
Just ate a bullet.
They stuck it under his chin, and it just like
he Shawshanked himself.
Eviscerated the whole.
Can't remember her last name, but that newscaster lady, Christine, whatever it was, back in the I think it was the early '80s.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They made that movie with Michael C. Hall was in it. Yeah.
Fucking.
But it's just there's so much fucking shit. Like my son saw it. He watched the video, but not on purpose.
Jesus Christ.
It was
that must have been a fun dinner conversation.
Right.
He was telling me about it. I'm like, so then I had to I couldn't not go watch it because I had to I'm like,
I need context before I give you
that's
right.
I can
fatherly
understand that.
advice. Yeah, that shit's difficult.
Man, I'm glad I don't envy you that, buddy.
Yeah,
that's
and he's smart enough to know it's not pretend.
Could get really,
but it is. But I mean, it's like.
So
it's a heavy conation.
We get really dark right here and transition into the YouTube stardom. And how does it happen?
Well,
kids,
before though, so
it's dark, but
my take on this has always been that we have grown faster technologically than we have philosophically.
Absolutely,
we have not kept up in philosophical technology the way we have in communication and processing and information technology, and
because we're on the way to fucking idiocracy right now.
I think we're and I've been saying this for about a decade, but I think that we're in like those tween/teen years of this stuff. Like we're really having some growing
as far
pains.
as the human race goes.
No, as far as our relationship with our technology.
Oh, okay.
I think we're going through some really horrible growing pains. And I think, and this is totally out of character for me because it's optimistic, but I think that we will hit that point where we get to be in our mid-20s.
Some sort of tipping.
And things stop being so fucking horrible. Like,
that might be the most optimistic thing I've ever heard you say, Chris.
We're gonna get to our Friends era.
Yeah.
The Friends TV show.
Yeah, we're all sharing an apartment that's rent controlled.
So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Technology is horrible.
And it is.
Your life's fucking DOA.
But it's great in its own way.
But I think that we will. We're gonna have some horrible shit, and I think this might be.
We're in puberty right now.
Yeah,
we got ingrown hairs.
Yeah, they're all on fire in the western states.
Wow.
But I think we'll get past it.
That's an
and
STD.
I don't think everybody will get past it. And I think part of the way that we're gonna be able to move forward, because as much as people, even my age, are bitching about, the next generation and these little assholes and
these
yada,
millennials
yada,
and da 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 da. Yeah.
And I know that I'm like barely a fart away from a millennial, but I really think we need to stop getting crusty old white dudes in the White House, and we need to get these people who have been in Congress for 40, 50, and Strom Thurmond was in there for like 70 fucking years. Like the minute he was able to be a congressional member, he was voted in, and he never went out until he died.
They need
like,
term limits
and
on
that is
shit
part, and
bad.
that is partially part of the problem is we're not growing
right
in the right areas because
keeping
we're
the same people in there. Like, oh, my grandpappy voted for him, so I should probably vote for him. Like, no.
That's not
I
how
recognize
this works.
her name.
Yeah.
Oh, Waters, I voted for her last time. I'm going to vote for her again. Don't vote for them again. Vote for somebody who's not in there right now. Because the people in there right now are the reason the country's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Yep.
People like Biden who have been in there since the 70s.
I don't understand, and I haven't for really as long as I can remember thinking about the subject. I don't understand why there are term limits on the presidential term, but not on congressional seats and stuff like that. It seems they seem like hand in hand.
They come up for election a lot.
Well, yeah, and I'm not saying they should be the same. Like, I'm not saying it should be a 2-term limit like the presidency is, but there should be some kind of limitation.
The limit should be
something.
The people.
There should be an exit plan.
No, they're your representatives from your state. It should not have term limits. And I've been in this argument 100 times.
Agree to disagree.
Their term limits should be informed voting populace. These people get these chances, and if they continually show that they are not what you claim that you want, but nobody looks at their voting record.
I could see that side of the argument.
I agree with you, but I think
in principle, but I think you're giving people too much credit in the equation.
I do not like anything that limits my choice as a voter. I don't think that I should be limited. I think I should be able to vote for the same dude for president.
That contradicts your old crusty guy statement because you're saying,
but we need to get them the fuck out of there.
No, well, if they're not doing what's right, they should be voted out. But people are not voting them out.
That puts the onus on the populace, and that's
where it should be.
That's what's got us to where we are, though.
But that's where it should be.
Yeah, like I said, I gotta agree to disagree with you
anything
on
that makes the government have more control, I'm totally against, and that's why I will vocally support Jorgensen. She's quoted as saying, "All taxation is theft." Fuck yeah, Joe, that's my girl. And they're like, "Oh, you didn't vote for Hillary? You didn't vote for Hillary? You're a sexist." No, there's plenty of women I'd vote for. I'd have voted for Tulsi Gabbard. I don't agree with her on everything, but she's way more moderate than Joe Biden is. Yeah. Joe Biden's a racist piece of shit.
See, and I'll probably vote Jorgensen, but it'll cancel out my vote. It's not going to matter for Idaho.
No,
what we do.
No, the more votes that they get, the more representation they end up getting next time. That's why I voted for Gary Johnson last time. That's why I'm going to vote for Jorgensen this time. Like, you get that libertarian in there, eventually.
You like to think that eventually it'll get there. That's the hope. But
the system is so fucking rigged at this point.
Yeah,
but you listen to these fucking BLM people
bucketing water out of a sinking ship. You're spooning water out of a sinking ship.
The Antifa people bitching about crusty old white guys, and who do they put up?
The oldest white dude on the planet.
Who are they trying to kill? Cops? They put up a cop.
Yeah.
No,
it's.
I know she was a district attorney, but whatever. Hand in hand.
6 of 1.
And not all cops are bad. Most cops aren't bad. And, I shared that thing the other day, that guy in Baltimore who was talking about this task force that had done all this crooked shit. He was due to testify the next day, and they shot him in the fucking head. Yeah. That's exactly why people, you can bitch and moan all you want about, oh, well, if cops were good, they'd turn in the dirty ones. That's what happens when they turn in the dirty ones.
Yep.
You don't like them? Fuck them.
Yeah. You ever watch The fucking Shield?
I love that movie.
Oh, it's such the movie, the fucking series.
Yeah, series.
That was one of the best series there ever was. So YouTube stardom.
Yeah.
We've kind of tap danced around it with the
sell out
with the conversation. Yeah, it's all about selling out.
You take any semblance of shame, you take any stance of your feelings of self-worth about yourself, you take it all, you put it in a nice little box, and you just get rid of it.
Well,
that's what's wrong.
I kind of did that with with those beer videos, but I can't quite get myself right to that. I can't go over that line.
It's
this observation of yourself. You're watching yourself as you do it, so you're constantly self-conscious of it. These guys that you found are not self-conscious about anything.
No,
Bob.
They are 100% aware that they don't care. It's fun to them, and that's,
which is great.
It's great for them, and I can totally understand it.
They're probably fucking monetized,
and I would think so, with the number of they only have like 60 or 70,000 subscribers. I say only,
but that's still. I mean,
their videos have millions of views,
and it might be just a drop in. Like it might. I don't know how the monetization works.
Anymore. It's so different now that I don't know how it works either.
But I'm sure they're getting something in the mail.
But
so why not keep going?
Yeah, well,
that's what. And so they found something that works. People are watching, whether they're watching, they turned off their comments.
You gotta, well, and some of them, they did turn off the comments, but it takes this. I don't know if this is the right word to use, but there's a level almost of like bravery to it.
Yeah.
And I don't, like I said, I don't.
That's why they don't have shame, because people call them brave. I think that word is overused.
I don't know. Like I said, and that's why I prefaced it with that. I don't know if bravery is the right word, but when you do something and you are very, very keenly aware that everyone is going to laugh and ridicule you, and you do it anyway, part of it is a bravery, part of it is a stupidity. You know, there's a lot of different things that go into it, in my opinion, because you got to kind of have a little bit of stones to put yourself out there and know that you're going to get ridiculed, to not have it upset you.
Oh, just by looking at the thumbnails, these people don't have anything to lose. Look at this guy.
They're the Down with the Sickness one is just the beginning of it. Because you got to remember, Down with the Sickness begins with the ooh, wah, and all the
this one, right?
Yeah. And they're, man, no shame, like at all, no shame.
What has he got? Like the Winamp viewer in the back? Good on him.
The thing is the lady seems like she's aware that she can't sing, and she's just kind of doing it. The dude is, you'll see, he's more into it. He seems like he's maybe trying a little bit more and playing it a little bit more straight than she is.
It's like a psychedelic screensaver. Oh wow.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Oh shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it gets better. Two of them grunting back and forth.
Deep in my sea of floated, broken your server
This is why I quit going to the Alibi.
What's left of my human
Dude, if I could see shit like this at the Alibi, I'd go.
I used to do shit like this at the Alibi.
Will you give it to me?
Look at my own reflection.
Will you give it to me?
When suddenly
Right?
it changes.
Oh god. How many of these did you watch?
3 of them. I think.
There's no.
I've seen a half of one, and it's too much.
They do an Eminem song where they rap instead of singing, and they keep up with that about as well as they keep up with this. And
Oh my god.
Get up, come on down with the sickness.
Yeah.
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
Get up and come down with the sickness.
Open up your hate and let it flow into me.
Get up and come down with
so,
the sickness.
yeah.
Oh, hey,
Mother, get up, come on, get down with the
You
sickness.
fucker get up
And
down with the sickness.
I don't want to subject people to the whole thing, but
No.
Yeah, go ahead and close her down.
The end, again, this is the reason why I clicked on this one. Is I hear the song in my head, and I think about the end part where he's like, "No, mommy, don't do it again, don't do it again," and he's all screaming, being crazy. They do that.
Where? How far out?
Just towards a little ways.
Like right here?
No, probably about 3.5. I'd say you're too close to the end.
Don't hit me. Woo!
Yeah, right there. That was it.
Don't do it again.
Don't do it again. I'll
Be a good boy.
be a good boy.
I promise.
No, mommy, don't hit me. Woo!
Meow.
Why do you have
To hit me like that, mommy.
Don't do it again.
Woo!
You have
Ouch!
to hurt me
Ouch!
like that,
That hurt. Woo!
Why
That's the sound Mara makes when I try and get her to Ric Flair.
Woo! Again, bitch. Fuck you. Fuck
Fuck
you.
you.
I don't need this shit.
This
You
shit, you
stupid
stupid
psychotic
sadistic
piece of
abusive
fucking
fucking
whore.
Would you like to see how?
Bro, is this sounds like a
So anyway, yeah.
That's enough of that.
And
for
but
one
no,
lifetime.
look at that. 726,000 views.
but
And at least two
since
of them are in this room.
2016.
Yes, dude, 4 years. You think we're gonna have 726,000
No,
views in 4
of
years?
course not. No.
Exactly. And yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
comments are turned off, obviously.
you could hashtag reaction video this, and because that was the first time I'd ever seen it, and I want somebody else's ears now.
Right?
So the ears of someone who never had to listen to
Right.
that.
Yeah, no, it's
That's my reaction, folks.
again,
Don't forget to smash like and subscribe. Ring that fucking bell.
just take any semblance of feeling shame for whatever you might do and throw it out the fucking window. Make a spectacle of yourself, because that's what sells. I guess that's kind of the.
Does your sales team?
Oh, don't do another
Oh
one.
no!
Dude.
Please don't do
No
another
more.
one.
No, one more.
No,
No, no,
oh,
no,
please
no.
don't. Please, for the love of God.
I'm just curious about this one.
It's
Skip ads. Skip
spoiler
ads.
alert. It's gonna be fucking terrible. Oh,
I do a wish and a well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell. I look to you as it fell.
Yep.
And now
Is
you're in
is she the Sunny D and Rum lady?
that's enough of that for me.
I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. You're
She's not even in sync with herself.
Yeah, make it stop, dude.
That's
Seriously, no more.
Please.
Really, no more.
Yeah, please, Ward. Please push the pause button.
Here's my number.
It's spectacle. Spectacle is what sells.
Yeah.
It's
Not the word I would use.
for as long
All the
as,
views are of 3 guys sitting somewhere with one guy torturing the other 2 guys while the other 2 are like, please stop,
Please
stop.
stop.
That's where all the views come
I'll
from.
pay you. Please stop.
No, keep
for
watching.
as far back as the candid camera shit and those America's Funniest Home Videos, the things that predated a lot of what YouTube and especially shit like TikTok and Vine and stuff. That's what all they've become.
That was totally kicking my ears in the nuts. I mean, that was what it was. It was that 4-year-old bat shot to his dad's nuts, except to my ears.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's look at this video. Can you believe that this exists? Ha ha ha.
And how much of it do you have to watch for it to count as a view? Like,
I don't know.
I think it's like 2 minutes. Or
I
something
don't
like that.
know, honestly. But no, I watched the Eminem one because I was like, oh, they rap. Okay, I'll check that out.
But the analytics are weird because it also counts when people bail.
Yeah.
So it's a whole.
So
I don't understand it, but
it would
watch a
probably
whole
be
one.
an easier algorithm to wrap your head around if you had like
hey,
some huge numbers.
it's there seems
I've
to
got
be
huge numbers.
there seems to be
64,223.
a direct
Bam!
correlation between a person's willingness to, I don't know, embarrass themselves, but it's not even always necessarily a level of embarrassing yourself, but it's that lack of giving a fuck of you got to turn off. People are going to make fun of you and you just got to not care.
Yeah. And
I don't know. Maybe I'm too prideful.
I don't believe I can get there.
I could not.
They have to care to some degree because they've turned off the comments.
Well, yeah,
but
I could not do that. I wouldn't. 726,000 views be damned.
It's not worth it. No, it's not worth it.
I couldn't do that. I would be embarrassed of it's, it's always the joke of like, man, you don't want to be famous for that. Like, yeah, I don't want to be famous for that. It's one thing if you're watching.
Yeah, like I already hate myself. I don't want to do that. Just hate myself that much more.
If you're watching that and you're like, and it's like abundantly clear to you that they know, like she knows.
It's not though. She looks like she grew up in a trailer park.
Yeah,
she's got 15 teeth,
which is
10
sad.
of them are in her pocket.
They
like
I've heard that before, but it's funny every time you say it.
It's one of my favorite.
I checked them out on Facebook. They have a very sincere air about them. They're like, yeah, we're aware that we fucking suck, and thanks for watching our video. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
it's.
Oh,
wow. Which again, part of me is like, more power to them.
But can they get money for it? Because they're singing songs.
It's still, you can.
That's
every once in a while, somebody will start to hum a tune, and
you get copyright people
and
bombing you.
Well, if you say if you're doing parody, that falls under parody.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Karaoke.
That definitely falls under something.
Karaoke falls under parody.
Under parody law, yeah.
And then, like, if you're doing, like, if we played like a clip from a movie and we're talking about it, that falls under commentary. Mm-hmm. I don't know all of the ins and outs of it, but you can argue with that in mind. I've had to do it a few times when we played that clip from Beethoven, and I had to do a copyright dispute because
Beethoven. Dude's been dead like 7
No, the movie with the dog.
Got it.
And
shit, they came after you for that?
Yeah. Huh. Warner Media loves to come after
Warner
people.
Media's got an AI that comes through everything, and it picks up their scenes.
And so then basically it just kind of like lets your video kind of sit defunct for like 3 days until they get around to like reviewing your dispute, and they're like, okay. Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Why have I not been singing at least one song per? Like, do you have any karaoke tracks on here that I can just bust something out? I'd love it to, our fucking 3 current viewers to just listen to me, the dulcet tones of old heads, just stroking your ear holes.
Really?
No.
No, I was taking you seriously for a second. Well, karaoke was an idea that I had at one time, but I showed you the one where we did "St. Elmo's Fire."
Yeah. Man in Motion.
Years ago. Yeah, Man in Motion years ago.
No, I would probably, if I was prepped,
I would
sing a song for these people.
But and we'd
would
have
you guys
to
like
do
to see that? Write into the show and let me know if you'd like to, because I can sing my daughter a lullaby on here. The Shankill Butch is right tonight. Yep, she loves that one. Great song. But yeah, if that's something you're interested in, I can bust out my old karaoke pipes, dust them off, and throw them at you. I love karaoke. I haven't done it in ages.
We have you on speaker, and now all our ears are bleeding.
Oh, because of those 2 people, or because of me?
Because of those 2 people.
Oh, no, I did not get the voice of my brothers, but
it'll do. It'll suffice.
I enjoy it. I enjoy singing, and they don't.
Did you catch the Gordon Lightfoot documentary?
No.
There's one I found on, I can't remember. It might be on Prime.
Nice.
It was good.
I saw Gordy. He, we were sitting there, and he looked like Chris Pratt when he was younger. Yeah, I told
you that. He looks like Walter Frey now.
And that was the first thing I thought when he walked on stage. When I saw him a couple years back, 3 years now, 3.5 years now.
Yeah, I mentioned that to you, and you're like, that's the exact.
Yeah, he looks just like Walter Frey.
And his album cover from like the 70s, he looks like Chris Pratt in it.
Yeah, fucking Gordy. There's another one I sing songs of daily. That little girl.
I'll find out where that.
I don't know why this is song.
Where that documentary is, but we watched it. It was great. It goes into his whole. He wrote a ton of fucking songs.
Yeah.
He's only like 81.
Only. I'm not gonna make it that long.
But I mean,
after the last couple of weeks and all the smoke, I'll be lucky to make it 5 more.
Okay,
Anywho,
so more on YouTube.
Yeah.
What's up with the big eye video thumbnails on YouTube?
We have them.
YouTube.
I first saw them on the throwing back to what you mentioned. You mentioned Ryan George earlier, but yeah, his videos of the pitch meetings.
Yeah, he does them on just the pitch
meetings. But yeah, he does them on those, which they're hilarious, by the way. Kudos to him for the idea for that, because they're really well done and they're pretty consistently hilarious.
They are entertaining. I could see it getting tired because personality wise, the guy rubs me a little bit for whatever reason.
I can see that,
but I can't discredit the humor and the level of effort that he puts into those, because he also does other shit on that channel, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does all sorts of videos that are in that same exact style. It's him talking to himself,
doing a commentary on
characters,
right?
But they're they range anywhere from fake game shows to fake newscasts to all sorts of. He does quite a few videos, and I can understand that he's a little bit grating. There are some of the things that he does that I think. I think he thinks they're funnier than they are, kind of thing. But the pitch meeting stuff,
I think it could be the case for most YouTube. Any YouTube personality.
Not everything is 100% gold.
Is going to come off grating to some people.
The pitch meetings I like specifically because of it's
nostalgic.
Because I'm as passionate about movies as I am. I like the way that he skewers them in ways of some of the shit that he comes up with. You can actually probably imagine if you've ever listened to movie producers talk. Like, the thing I always go back to is I can't remember his name, but the producer that did like Wild Wild West, and he was supposed to produce the Tim Burton Superman movie, and this guy's insistence that his movie end with someone battling a giant mechanical spider. He tried to get like 3 sequential movies made where no matter that was going to be the end of the Superman movie, he was going to make Superman fight the giant mechanical spider. And then that didn't happen. So, you know what? All right, well, we are making Wild Wild West. So that movie's going to end with a giant mechanical spider, because fucking goddamn it, I want a giant mechanical spider. Like, so some of the things that he comes up with that I'm sure they're really, really accurate in terms of the crazy, stupid shit that producers say.
Yeah.
You're talking about Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yeah.
No. Barry Sonnenfeld is the director.
Oh, you're talking about the writer?
No, he was he was one of the producers.
Okay. John Peters?
Yep, John Peters. That's him.
Fucking, I thought we were talking about the director. I couldn't remember if it was him or not.
He is a fantastically pretentious dick.
Yeah, fucking.
He's worked on
his insistence on that fucking spider is legendary.
Apparently, the bug-eyed thing is not anything more than the equivalent of clickbait. Of it catches people's attention if somebody
catches your eye.
If somebody
because you're like
leaves their kid unattended watching random things on YouTube, kids are prone to, because of like stuff like Disney and DreamWorks and stuff where they have the big cartoonish eyes, kids are more likely to randomly click on
the dogs.
It sounds like a gay fuck club. DreamWorks.
Jesus.
Have you never seen that movie? That's at the end of Zach and Mary Make a Porno.
Oh God, I've only seen that movie once. I wasn't a huge fan. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
The guy that works with him. God, I can never remember his name. Robinson.
Craig Robinson.
Craig Robinson he makes that movie. I don't like Zach or Miri that much in that one. I enjoy both of their work, but I don't like them in that one.
Yeah.
But man, Craig Robinson is funny.
They are weird looking and grab your attention. Getting traction on YouTube is helped by making people click on your video. Thus, the more eye-catching your thumbnail is, the better your video will do, even if it looks dumb. Yep. That's the nuts and bolts of it right there. I mean, I think that's probably more of someone's opinion than it is an actual proven fact, but they're not wrong. That's 100% what the gist of doing it is.
having a hard time seeing any other comments.
I don't know
how to navigate Reddit very well.
I never use it on the computer. I always just use it on my phone. So, no, I think it's just you know, and it's in all honesty, it's a fad. It'll play out and it'll be replaced by whatever the
managed
next
data from 5 continents.
You know, whatever the next thing is.
Thousands of.
So what is this? The movies that inspired Knives Out.
Oh, I don't want you to play them right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm just. this is for later.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think you were getting shit right away.
Sorry.
Okay. Knives Out was great. I watched that the other day, which we talked about it on the last show, but
yeah. So the big guys.
I really enjoyed it.
I liked Knives Out. It was pretty good. Jamie Lee Curtis, I could take her leave.
Yeah.
I mean, she was fine.
More or less.
But anybody could have done that. Yeah, Michael Shannon was great.
I mean, he's great.
He's kind of always.
I liked him. Specifically, I think that he was possibly my favorite of the characters in the movie because he had that really. Michael Shannon does intense but not threatening.
Yeah,
so well.
He also just.
Did you ever see him in that?
I mean, he does threatening really fucking well too.
Did you see him in that Sasquatch movie?
No.
Oh.
Sasquatch movie. I love Bigfoot shit, man. So sign me up. I love Bigfoot stuff. Well, hang on. Before you do this, go back to our content really quick so I can see what's next.
Well, and just copy and share the trailer and
Cuties.
Cuties. Oh, no thanks, man. Yuck.
No thanks. Not watching it. No. Not gonna bother with it. Not gonna watch it.
I don't.
I didn't watch it. No, I'm not. No, we're talking as all non-watchers refusing to watch. I'm following up on the link that you sent from Reddit.
It's the person who made it has been very, very vocal, and I honestly don't have a lot to say about it. The person who made it's been very, very vocal that the girls that were used in the movie, their parents were there. There was nothing exploitative to be done about it, that it was all done as a way to try and shine a light on the real things that young girls have to deal with. And I'm sorry, it's inappropriate.
Why did you need 6 months to audition girls to cast them in the movie?
And you didn't.
Can you explain that?
It's the argument that I used when we were talking about it in reference to Blazing Saddles. If you're going to make a movie and the subject matter is satirizing, poking holes in, and ridiculing some kind of mindset,
behavior,
belief,
that you don't like,
behavior, whatever it is, you do not use your movie or your platform, show, whatever it is, to then further that and do it. When you're doing it, you're not satirizing it.
No, there are people who would not have raped children before who will watch that movie and then go rape children.
Yes. And their argument for why they made it is, I think, fucking flimsy at best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it holds any water at all.
And if you feel like you need to defend the movie, go fuck yourself.
I'm not a cancel culture person. I'm not going to cancel my Netflix because I don't agree with it. Do I think Netflix should have released it? No, I don't think it should have ever seen the light of day. And I think they should feel a genuine level of shame for taking part in it being exposed to the world. But I'm an adult. I can very easily just not watch it and go on with my day, which I think more people should work on being able to do. But it's something that I don't understand how it exists.
Right.
It's
the reason I'll never use the play something button.
No, never.
No,
never. I don't need Netflix suggestions.
I made that joke the other day.
Fuck that.
I tweeted it actually.
Yeah,
I said that to Jenny the minute it showed up. We were sitting going through stuff because she had her foot worked on last week, and so we've been sitting around it, and we were clicking through, and it's there's a button there that says play something.
Yeah,
it's like a randomizer on that shit.
No
thanks.
No thanks.
Nope.
I'll
watch Parks and Rec again. Fuck you.
If I want to hear a random song, just throw something at me.
Right.
Yeah, music, that's different. But
you're not going to rape it. You're not going to get your eyes raped. Yeah, my tweet was Netflix has a play something option because it knows how indecisive its vast library of gold fleck shit has made its subscribers. Only problem is selecting that option results in Cuties playing on an endless loop, infecting all your devices. Because I feel that movie, that it's a virus.
It is.
And
they're trying to normalize something that should not be normalized.
Yeah.
It's and people will go against, that's just a slippery slope argument. You start letting the gays get married and then the whole thing's just going to come down. But we progressively get worse.
Yep.
Every time we're like, you need to accept this. You need to accept this. I will never accept a dude chopping his dick off.
On the precipice of making pedophilia a mental condition, a mental disorder?
There are a lot of people.
I think it is a mental disorder. I think it doesn't belong.
It's not treatable, and it needs to be
LGBTQ, LMNO pedophile.
Right.
They want to put it in there, and no. I don't know a single gay or lesbian who wants to be on a list with pedophiles.
Yeah.
It's not, don't normalize it. And don't normalize animal fucking either, because an animal also cannot consent.
Which, did you see that My Octopus trailer?
No.
What happened to...
That's a Netflix show too.
What happened to the days when somebody would do something and it was okay socially for a person to be like, that's fucked up. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You can't
say that.
You can't do that to people anymore.
You can't.
No matter how fucked.
You have to be nice.
Fucked up it is.
Yeah.
No matter how fucked up it is, we are not allowed to call people on that anymore. Or you're the asshole.
Yeah. Or
you don't think it's okay for him? Well, he's just it's not just like
quit
anything.
making excuses.
By sharing your
fucking aberration.
By sharing your exercise videos, you're fat shaming people. No, there's studies that say you should not be overweight. I'm
not fat shaming. If I was fat shaming somebody, I would have videos of a fat guy running on a treadmill while I laughed at the amount of jiggling that was going on. That is fat shaming.
And
like seriously, it's
or like there's a
fuck that.
There's a what is that subreddit called? Something about Tumblr. But it just finds these absurd things that people say on Tumblr, like get out of here if you are going to discriminate who you have sex with based on their genitals. If you'll only have sex with one type, you're furthering white supremacy. Like, how is being a gay man and choosing your partner based on their genitals furthering white supremacy? It's not. It just isn't. You can't just start playing like, I'm going to make a fucking goulash out of oppression. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
Like,
no, the Cuties thing, I'll be glad when it's in the rear view. Because the whole thing is,
it won't be till they pull it from the library.
Have you seen the amount of
it's fucking disturbing.
Pedophiles who have been caught and child traffickers that have been caught recently?
Mm-hmm.
They rescued like 5 kids 2 days ago in like Oklahoma or something.
It's insane. I didn't realize that was such a.
They got 243 arrests of people who were in this network that were trafficking these children around.
And that kind of gets like, it doesn't get headline news. It doesn't get like, it just gets kind of
because of climate
it's like
change.
It's not front page at all.
Or because
Trump said something people didn't like, or Biden touched somebody again, or it's
but
Biden's part of that problem though. Like,
I'd rather hear
and you don't get to hear about that. You get canceled if you say anything about that. You say anything about,
you get called a racist Trump supporter if you say anything.
If you say anything about drunk Uncle Joe manhandling children. Have you seen that one where that other senator swats his hand when he reaches for his granddaughter? Yeah.
Hands off, creep. Yeah, it's
dude, just whack.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, and Joe's like, whoops, whoopsie, almost touched your granddaughter.
It's
nice.
It's really unfortunate. It's as unfortunate as it is upsetting. And the thing that upsets me that really kickstarted off of this is you have the link up on the screen from that person who they subjected themselves to watching the movie just to see what it was all about.
What the fuss was about.
How many people you think did that? How many people you think did that didn't take the time to write about it on Reddit? Probably a fuck ton.
I didn't, and I won't.
No, and I won't either. But there's probably a lot of people who were like, well, I wonder what all the fuss is really about. And then they sat down and they watched that shit, and that gets views. And Netflix,
little girl taking pictures of her vagina with her uncle's fucking phone. That's fucked up.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's like,
I don't know.
You know, my daughter wants her profile on Netflix changed so that she can watch Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if my 7-year-old watches Stranger Things.
Yeah,
that doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I up it too much, then Cuties falls into her available content.
Yeah,
Netflix has expanded their rating parameters though, as far as like the way you can set your kids' accounts.
That's good to know. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, you can. I think it's like TV 14, and then it has it broken up a little bit more.
Because it's
calibrated a little bit better. But
Matthew, I don't know if you're if you guys are even still watching, but I'm extraordinarily fortunate in the relationship that I have with my son. He doesn't have a kids account, because he watches a lot of stuff like The Office and Parks and Rec and Stranger Things and stuff like that. So I don't lock him down on a kid's account, because I
have a good trusting relationship with my kids. Yeah, as far as that goes.
We have a very good level of trust, and there's a very good understanding. I mean, I could not tell you how many times, even in the last probably
reality
2
and
weeks,
non-reality, kind of like your daughter said earlier.
Yeah, he'll ask me, Dad, can I watch this? Well, Dad, can I watch this?
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to tell him, I don't remember what it was that was the other day I was talking about, that it wasn't, it wasn't a nudity thing. It wasn't a graphic violence thing. It was just dude, the subject matter of this movie, like everything that this movie is about, and I wish I could remember what movie it was, but the basic gist of it was, I had to explain to him, there's not any one thing in this movie that I'm going to be like, oh no, you can't watch this movie because it has this. Like some movies would be like, no, there's a bunch of sex in this movie, so you don't need to see it. Or there's a bunch of indiscriminate violence in this, so you don't need to see it.
And I think you're a little more thoughtful about it than I am with my kids. Like, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I'd let a 7-year-old watch Stranger Things.
I think it'd scare them personally.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't want to deal with it.
I guess it depends on the kid. But
she loves Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh, okay.
I hear that name.
Speaking constantly. Of sexualizing kids,
Drake.
No kidding.
Her in general.
Yeah,
there was fucking Twitter pages literally set up with countdowns to when she turned 18 years old. That's disgusting. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Like on a whole nother level.
That's been going on since the Olsen twins, though.
Yep.
That's the first countdown I remember.
Well, that was like, what was funny when and Derek didn't share it. It was an accidental share. He showed that video, the pizza one with the Olsen twins, right at like almost immediately after you shared the Cuties link. And so I thought he was doing a commentary on that. And then like 3 days later, he's like, "What's up with this Cuties shit?" And I'm like, "You didn't read,
dude. We were talking about
read anything anymore.
We were talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's. It wasn't. I wish I could remember what movie it was, but I just told him, I was like, "Dude, there's the point of the matter is there's nothing in this movie that is subject matter that is okay for an 11-year-old. It's just give it time. The movie's still going to be out and around 5 years from now when you're 16 and old enough to be able to watch it. So just watch something else.
Yeah,
there's entirely too many hours of video.
Oh yeah,
out there
way
for you
too
to
many.
not worry about.
Too many. That's what I try to tell him all the time. Is, dude, you got the rest of your life. Don't rush.
Start the Marvel movies over.
Yeah, man.
When's the last time you watched Iron Man?
Right. Still holds up.
Hefe Bridges, man. Hefe Bridges.
You see, he's got a new show coming out on FX.
Really?
Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Right.
Two dudes
on FX.
On FX. I saw.
It's gonna fucking blow loads all over my face. They were
showing.
Amazing.
It was one of those FX commercials.
It's not a comedy, right?
No, it does not look like a comedy anyway.
But is it a trailer? Is there a trailer for it?
I don't. It was one of those commercials where FX is advertising themselves, and they're like, "We have this show, and we have this show, and we have." I don't even remember what the name of it is off the top of my head, but I'll have to look it up. But all I saw was, I was like, "Dude, those two guys in a show together? Yeah, sign me the fuck up. I'll give it a try."
Yeah.
Speaking of Netflix,
after now that we've shit on them, I want to go ahead and shower them in some praise.
Well, the new I didn't get a chance. I elected to watch Replicas instead, which.
Yeah, we don't have to have a super in-depth discussion on it. I don't want to spoil anything
because I intend to watch it here very soon, so I would like to avoid spoilers if possible.
It's like a Coen Brothers movie.
Is it? It's
fucking great.
It's okay. So amazing.
I like everybody that was in it. I thought it looked good.
Bed.
That was one of those ones where I set my phone down. It didn't It was
Good.
It was amazing from start to end, and then even better when I discovered that the author was also the narrator of the.
I really
the author of the
narrator
book.
Voice.
I really enjoy Tom Holland.
He's great in it.
And
I would say it's probably his best movie.
While
Robert Pattinson is phenomenal.
Yeah, dude, I was going to say
I hated it. I hated him.
I hated Twilight. Him. Every minute he was on screen, I hated him.
Twilight aside,
and I was like,
he is so talented. He is a good fucking actor. He is really talented. Yeah. Like him,
I need to watch
him and Daniel Radcliffe both. It's funny that like Radcliffe was Harry Potter and everybody showered him with praise, and Pattinson was in the Twilight things and everybody shit on him. And now you look at him and like Radcliffe has, like Tom Cruise, he's got fuck earth money from being Harry Potter, but he gets to pick these weird things and just kind of do them as he wants. And he's not as talented, I don't think, as Robert Pattinson is. But man, holy shit. Did you ever watch The Lighthouse with him and Willem Dafoe?
Not yet.
It's on Prime.
Yeah,
it was on Prime.
I don't know if it's still.
I don't know if it still is. Man, it's.
I might pay
Robert Eggers. I get why some people don't like The Witch, because it is not a horror movie in the sense of what people think of.
The Witch.
God, that was a good movie. Like I really
was Pattinson in that?
No, but Robert Eggers directed The Lighthouse with Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
The trailer looks so intriguing.
It's a mind fucky great movie, and it's basically just Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson acting
chilling
together. It's just basically them in the movie, and it's fucking great. It's really good. He's apparently doing his next movie is like a Norse Viking type set, another period piece, because he really seems to kind of specialize in those very, very time period accurate period piece movies. Like I had to watch The Vivitch with subtitles because they speak in the authentic old puritanical form of English, and if you don't read all the words, you can be like, wait, what the fuck? Huh?
I started watching stuff in subtitles within the last year, and I know a lot of people. Derek, I know, watches with subtitles. I think Chris, you watch with subtitles, don't you?
Every time.
I do too.
I piss my kid off when I do it because he doesn't
really?
like. He thinks it's taking something away from the
delivery.
And I might have agreed with him when I was younger, but now it's like I'm getting stuff I missed.
I started doing it when right around the time that Matthew was born, because I would have to occasionally be, a little more quiet than I had to be prior to having kids. And that was, I was like, well, if I turn the subtitles on, then if I happen to miss something or the volume gets too quiet at one point or something, and I've just never, like I said, I get more out of it. I've always watched like foreign films and stuff with subtitles, so I've never had an issue with being able to engage with the screen and kind of passively read the words.
Yeah.
Because I know people who they don't like it because, and it's not that they're stupid, but their brain can't. They struggle to be able to watch what's going on in the screen and read the words at the same time. They can only devote so much attention to one or the other.
Right.
I've had conversations with people that have that problem, and I can understand it. But I'm blessed.
I might have argued that point when I was younger. But like I said, as I get older, there's things I miss, and there's things like I'm not. But my memory of a movie that I watch isn't solely the yellow, or whatever the color of the font is.
No, not at all.
But yeah, I mean,
My mom fucking hates it.
It's it's practice too. You do it the more you do it.
It's a learned skill.
Yeah.
My mom hates it, and she always bitches anytime that I'll watch something.
My son requests we turn them off.
You turn the subtitles. Why do you always turn the subtitles on?
Your mom and my kid would get along just great.
I do. But no, that's good to know that, because I've heard consistently good things about that movie, and I very much wanted to see it prior to, like I said, I elected to watch Replicas.
I honestly believe it'll be one that well, I don't honestly. It will be.
It'll go down on
it'll
you in
Oscar.
history.
It'll be Oscar. in the Oscar running this year.
That
be
without
surprised.
question. Probably
Especially
for
with
the
how
script.
weird the world's been and how few movies have come out. The pickings are going to be a lot slimmer than they normally.
Well,
would
it's
be.
introduced.
Maybe
It's being
Tom
introduced
Holland's-
right now because of that. Because Oscars are February, March
it's
usually,
Oscar
so
season. It's about to be. I mean,
Right.
it's picking up.
It's autumn, so yeah.
But no,
I know they hit real hard around Christmas.
loved the cast. Thought the premise of it sounded interesting enough to watch. So good to know that it's a good show.
I had no idea what it was about. I just heard it was good.
and the trailer doesn't give a lot away.
No, but God, Winter Soldier's in it. Spider-Man's in it. Batman's in it.
Yeah.
Fucking who else? Who am I forgetting?
The one guy.
Pennywise the dancing clown is in it.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Man,
He's
it's
a talented dude.
Mhm.
He was season 1 of Castle Rock was really uneven, but he was fucking great in it.
right.
Lighthouse is still on Prime. I just looked.
I was.
Good to know.
I was
Good
almost.
to know. And that's again another one like The Witch. Actually, even more so than The Witch. You almost need to watch it with subtitles.
Oh, do they go heavy on the accents?
But yeah, man. There's a few times where it's genuinely hard to understand what either of them are saying because they have thick accents.
Is it like Tom Hardy difficult to understand him?
At points, almost. Yeah, almost.
He's a fucking monster in Peaky Blinders. I have no idea what that man is saying.
Dude, watch Bronson. Did you ever see that? That was one that I downloaded it off of the high seas.
I always forgot that was him.
And I wound up I watched the first probably like 15 or 20 minutes of it, and I was hooked to watch the rest of it. So I turned it off and I Redboxed it so that I could watch it with subtitles because I was like, this is great and I'm digging this, but I don't know what the fuck is going on and I'm missing every third word.
Yeah, he gets absurd. And I think he takes jobs so he can talk stupid. Like Bane and the way he did Eddie Brock and like all that shit. He's
Lawless.
He always just sounds stupid. What are you doing?
He affects a different voice every thing he does.
What was that one that he did? Was it just I can't remember the name of it. It's basically just him driving in a car.
Mad Max Fury Road.
No. good reference, but no, it's another movie where it's basically just him driving around in a car trying to get somewhere in a race against time. And man, I don't know how they could make a movie about a guy in a car by himself be so goddamn engaging, but Tom Hardy is
I know which one you're talking about, but I can't remember it now.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a good show. He's a talented guy.
He's good despite his accents.
Willem Dafoe was did you watch Togo on Disney Plus?
Nope.
It's worth watching.
I wasn't really.
What is
I wasn't really interested.
What's the
I mean it's kid show.
Good movie.
It's a feel good movie, but it wasn't bad.
Okay.
It's one of and I guess I'm getting this little problem with Disney Plus right now because I feel like they're kind of like running low on content.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have been for a while.
I think they rested all their hopes on their Marvel library,
which is nice.
Nice.
I don't have to go spend $150
and their previous Disney library, but I can't rewatch a lot of that. It's like I'm not going to I like the Marvel movies, but I'm not going to rewatch Ant-Man 6-7 times.
I can't watch Endgame again. It's 3 fucking hours long.
I know. It's like
why is it so long?
It's kind of like it's one of those background movies.
Yeah. I'll turn it on every once in a while just because it'll go on. Yeah. But I prefer Infinity War.
It's a better movie.
It is.
It really is from top to bottom.
But their content library is just like it's not like Netflix really is. For all the shit it has, they do come out with more consistent good stuff periodically.
Yeah, yes.
And they have a library of content that you wait for. Like, and especially since now they got Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
The Beard and I were talking
Ozark and
yesterday.
Prime
Stranger Things is starting production again like next week.
Prime has a really
a great library.
Impressive library. I had no idea.
Bosch. Goliath.
Man in the High Castle.
Bosch's
Can we take
Thomas Welliver?
Can we jump Titus Welliver? Yeah.
Did I say? I thought I said Titus.
You said Thomas. Because you're thinking of Tom Hardy.
I
know it's Mad Max boners. You can't just let it go.
I think that Disney was really smart to do that thing with the Verizon customers getting the first year for free. I think that was a really
Wish I'd have
smart.
jumped on that.
I did. It's about to expire. I think mine's up in like December or something like that.
Yeah, I bought it.
We're bundled with you or with Hulu, so it's not bad.
That's
but it's
probably
just
what I'll wind up doing once my free year is up because I have Hulu. But I think they pinned everything on Marvel
and
Marvel's
Lucas.
upcoming TV shows and The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And then when, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, COVID hit, threw off the release dates for the Marvel Disney Plus TV shows. They also, I think they were a little bit overzealous on it because even pre-COVID stuff, those shows were further out than they made them appear when they were launching Disney Plus. They made it sound like you're going to get Mandalorian, and then you're going to get Winter Soldier and Falcon, and then you're going to get WandaVision, and then you're going to get Loki, and then you're going to
we're going to shove Marvel up your ass.
They had some really good, like some passion stuff in there, but then it's like
suppository.
But it's not a consistent revolving door. And Netflix, for all the bad it does create some good, and even the bad is still good for some people because some people are like, they like that shit.
Yeah.
But I go and sit and I navigate Disney Plus. I'm like, what can I? There's nothing to watch.
There's not.
There's tons though.
There's so much to watch, but
there's nothing you want to watch
until something new comes, and then it's like, okay, then I'm gonna watch all this. But I watched like the Imagination documentary series that they did. The Imagineering, that was great. I loved it.
Very interesting, but watched it once.
But I watched it once. I don't need to watch it again.
Yeah. No. There's
Mandalorian's hard to watch again.
It is, and my biggest problem with Mandalorian is it's like it's too sewed up at the end of every episode.
It's very, very episodic. It's almost like there's not a full storyline going.
Right.
And I wonder if they're going to make it more serial.
I think my son told me they want to try to make it more serial, but there's like this back and forth between different heads.
When I watched it the first time,
the company
it was refreshing that it was episodic.
Right.
I was like, this is great. I can watch an episode and there's a little carryover, like leverage level carryover.
Right.
Not like
but he gets to the end of the episode, it's like conflict resolution.
Yeah. Every episode
move to the
has
next
its
thing.
own little
Conflict
thing.
resolution, move to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see more continual conflict, or
something that carries over.
Carries over into the next episode.
Clancy Brown was in one episode as that weird character with Bill Burr and the girl that played Osha.
They're supposed to be back.
I think they're kind of
and Oliphant's going to be on this next season.
Yeah, from hearing like Oliphant's going to be on it, Katie Sackhoff showing up, Rosario Dawson showing up. They seem to kind of
they're digging
on that.
Like they're digging into that because
kind of their shtick of we bring on.
But if they're going to be in
one or two
episodes, who cares?
Right.
They're digging into those characters from, is it Clone Wars?
Yeah.
And I think it's partially because of Pascal's alleged falling out. I think maybe they had to like redirect the course of the.
If there's actually truth to that, like real weight to that, Gus Fring's comments about them having season 3 and season 4 coming up, that show's going to be very different by season 3, season 4, if that's true. And
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, man, talk about a guy who makes everything better.
Yep.
He's so fucking
He's Gustavo Fringing the shit out of the boys.
Dude.
I was so excited.
He doesn't get a lot of shit dealt to him.
With him and Jim Beaver, and then Jim Beaver never shows back up. Maybe he'll show up Friday. I don't know.
He might.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't, I wouldn't count it
that
out.
Was kind of, that was
part of me wondered if it was just a Kripke, like,
that's a Kripke thing.
Let's let my buddy in.
Yeah, because they cast him as the Robert Singer character, or the Robert Singer name.
Well,
same as
I found this out on accident. I'm not sure if you know this, but Iceman, what's his name?
Bobby Drake.
He was also on The Following. He played Iceman in the X-Men movies, but I can't remember the kid's name. He was in, I think it was episode 4.
He has an identical twin brother.
Stormfront. is on the phone with him for like 5 seconds in an episode.
He just kind of shows up.
And he just kind of shows up. He's Lamplighter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had no idea. I found out on accident on Reddit. But yeah, there's a scene. I don't think it was in, and sorry for anybody who's not actually current, because The Boys is a show you shouldn't have spoiled for you, because it is an actually genuinely surprising show in a lot of ways.
Laser my tits.
But yeah,
Sean Ashmore.
Sean Ashmore, thank you.
He has a twin brother, identical twin.
Oh,
did you know that? Yeah,
I did not know
they've
that.
done other stuff. Like,
I did not know that.
It's like Jeremy and Jason London.
Oh yeah, I did not know that. But yeah, I think it was in episode 4. I don't think it was this most recent episode. But Stormfront's on the phone with somebody, and she blah 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 blah.
Is he like her meme lord?
No idea. They literally talk for like 10 seconds in the episode. Is all you see him, and I was like, that was Sean Ashmore. I didn't remember his name. But and then I was reading on Reddit not long afterward, and yeah, apparently he's Lamplighter.
Huh.
So yeah, because I saw the thing about Kripke, what's his face from Supernatural, is going to be in season 3.
Oh yeah,
as the demented version of Captain America, basically.
Not Padalecki, but the other one.
Yeah, the other one.
Aaron Ashmore, his twin, played Jimmy Olsen in Smallville. So you might have thought it was Sean Ashmore.
No shit.
Well, I didn't know either of their names until just this second.
Well, I
was today years old. When
I
found
know
he was in Skulls 2.
I know him because, like I said, he was
the dead kid was in the first one.
He was Iceman. That's how I.
Sean has had a
Drake.
better career.
Oh yeah,
Sean's done the X-Men.
He
and all
was
that,
unfortunately in that really terrible movie about the 3 college kids that get stuck on the ski lift.
Oh, I like that movie, Frozen.
That movie was shit.
Not the one with
not the one with Elsa and Anna, but the one where the kid tries to drop out of the or he drops off of the lift and the wolves come and attack him. Yeah, that's him that falls and gets attacked by the wolves. Yeah.
Did he do some gray shit?
That movie was so fucking stupid.
I'd fight some wolves with broken bottles.
But no, the one thing that was nice, we talked about it in the car on the way up here. Disney's actually finally doing new content. We get new Mandalorian next month,
and WandaVision.
WandaVision is going to be before the end of the year. A lot of people are saying it'll come out around Thanksgiving. So there's at least something, coming. But are they going to do
something to hold on for? But it's like, man, they gotta have a little bit.
Step it up.
They be more steady with the release of stuff.
They need to step it up,
and they gotta come out with some darker shit.
Not going to happen. Not
that
on Disney Plus. That'll go to Hulu, man.
Think so?
Oh yeah,
I know so.
Disney, they draw a real hard line on. They've gone so far as to censor some of the movies that are on Disney Plus. Where they
that Blackheart one,
they edited Daryl Hannah's hair to cover up her ass in Splash.
Oh wow.
Like they draw a real hard line on that. Anything that they're going to come out with that's going to be any kind of close to adult content, like you said, it'll end up on Hulu, not on Disney Plus.
So the closest they'll get is going to be
the Wolverine movies they've already put on there.
Yeah,
probably the Wolverine will be the hardest movie they put on there.
They draw a real hard line on that kind of stuff.
And that one wasn't that hard.
But
it wasn't Logan.
Logan won't show up on there.
Logan is so good.
It was a great movie. But
no, I'm gonna watch it with Mars when she's a little older.
I'm really stoked for season 2 of The Mandalorian. Season 1 was, as we've discussed with my fervent passion for Star Wars, it's some of the best Star Wars content that I think's come out in a very, very long time.
Oh yeah.
And
some of the clips from the trailer for season 2, fun to watch.
Look really great.
I like seeing stormtroopers in action.
Yeah. And what's her face? The Sasha Banks, the chick from WWE. She's going to be in it.
Really?
Yeah, she's in the trailer.
Nice.
For like half a second. Which I think is kind of cool. But WandaVision looks super weird, really awesome. Again, we talked about it earlier. I'm not anxious for new MCU content, but I'm ready for it. I don't need it in my veins like I was fucking waiting for Infinity War.
Right.
But I'm not not upset about it. And I really, really like Elizabeth Olsen a lot.
Do too. She's fantastic.
I really like Paul Bettany. I think that casting him as Vision was just about as perfect as like Downey as Stark. Like it was perfect casting.
Yeah.
And I like
the paranoid.
I don't know if I've seen Elizabeth Olsen in anything I haven't liked. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of like.
She was in that good one with Hawkeye where they were
Winter something.
Winter Creek,
Cold
Creek.
No.
Cold fucking
something about winter. John Bernthal's in it too.
Yeah, John. Yeah, this is a great movie.
The
one that,
there's another guy who just doesn't do
the one
bad
that
work.
The one that she did with Aubrey Plaza, the Ingrid Goes to Hollywood or whatever it is.
I haven't seen that one.
Or Ingrid Goes West. It's a fucking great movie. You should check it out. Yeah, it's really, really entertaining.
Right on.
Ice Cube's son is in it, and he has this his character has a really strong affinity for Batman, and there's some good jokes to be mined from it. But yeah, it's a great movie.
Nice.
It's very largely focused on like to go back to what we were talking about earlier, kind of idolatry and like hero worshiping celebrities through social media and stuff like that is kind of the premise of the movie.
Wind River. There wasn't anything about winter.
Oh, it wasn't anything about winter. Yeah, it's
Winter.
Ingrid Goes West is what it's called, and it's totally worth watching.
And you're cold.
Elizabeth Olsen is great in it. Aubrey Plaza is great in most everything. Apparently,
Renner too.
Apparently, the Rambo, whatever her name is, the
Monica.
Yeah, apparently she's in it as like
the leader of Sword,
adult version of herself now that she's working for Sword and is no longer a child in the Captain Marvel movie. Did you guys see Tenet? No. I honestly,
Worldwide Attack Matrix and 9/11.
Is it okay?
Right on,
is it socially acceptable for me to say that I wasn't really all that super stoked about seeing it?
I've just seen ads for it. It's one of those things like, yeah, I'll watch it if it comes up on for free somewhere. I've got it, but
Christopher Nolan's movies, I love them very much. The Prestige is amazing. Memento.
I think that's his best one.
I
watched
agree.
Inception the other night. It's good, but I don't think anything tops The Prestige. And because Batman and Wolverine are going after each other, and then the Goblin King comes in.
When I looked,
and I love David Bowie.
When I looked at everything from Tenet, it looked a lot more in line with Inception than his other stuff that I'd seen. And
when was the release on it?
It's
can't have been that long ago.
Tenet, not very long ago.
Oh, just released in the U.S. on the 3rd of September.
I haven't had a chance to see it yet. When
if I was going to watch
a streaming service, I'll watch it.
I also heard that it's in terms of Nolan is infamous for
he's got a signature
inability to mix sound and dialogue. It was a problem with Bane and The Dark Knight Rises a lot.
Yeah, he's Gotham's rectum.
And I've heard that this movie, that there are like more than a couple scenes where the sound mixing is so poor that it becomes difficult to understand what's going on or what's being said. So it's like, no, I'll wait for subtitles. That's
too bad, because that's a really important topic that should probably be discussed. I'm not saying that whatever, but when Building 7 went down, that shit was fucked up. Like, did you see that thing I shared to the group not too long ago? They'd made the most complex computer model that the human race has ever made. The University of Alaska in Fairbanks did this.
I saw you. Yeah.
And it's something like 5 terabytes of information.
Jeez.
And it's free to download, but who the fuck has 5 terabytes worth of space?
Not me.
Anyway, the model goes through and says there's no way that it was not a controlled demolition.
That's
at all. There's no fucking structural way that building should have come down, because it wasn't hit by anything.
That's interesting.
Nothing. And that's a state university with, the most advanced computer model ever made by our species. And I'm
nobody will ever really know. It's one of those things that it's like Kennedy.
Well,
nobody will ever really know what happened.
You remember back the day before.
It reminds me.
They were talking about $2.3 trillion that just disappeared.
Oh yeah,
in the
money laundering,
Pentagon's budget.
The money laundering thing.
What room got hit at the Pentagon when the plane went down? Oh, weird! It was the financial records room. Oops.
Have either of you ever seen Gravity Falls?
Yeah.
Okay. There's an episode where I remember it very, very clearly because I saw it today while Annabelle was watching some of it. But they find out about the secret history of the 8.5 president of the United States, something Tremblay or whatever, and he's really silly and he rides his horse backwards and stuff.
No pants.
But yeah, the depantsation proclamation or something like that. He orders that everybody's not supposed to wear pants. It's really silly and funny. But
that show is full.
Oh, it's a great show. Oh, it's such a good show. It's honestly one of the better cartoons I've seen in a long time.
Alex turned me onto it.
But
awesome.
They show this old film reel footage explaining when the kids discover this guy who was a secret president, who was the 8.5 president, that they very quietly replaced him and scrubbed him from the history books and stuff like that. But when they're showing him the video where they're explaining this, the video kicks up and it's some stuffy guy in a suit and black and white old-timey instructional video things, and he goes, if you're watching this video, you're one of the 8 people in the country who have been given clearance to this information. Why, even I'm going to be shot as soon as this film is finished. Wait, I'm not? Oh, okay, thanks. Like it's very, very tongue-in-cheek, but yeah, it's nobody will ever know. Anybody who if there was any kind of conspiracy on any of that shit, anybody who even knew the slightest tiny bit of thing is fucking gone.
Donald Rumsfeld's still alive.
So maybe he didn't know anything.
I don't think it was an inside job. I don't think this, I don't think that. But Building 7 was empty that day. And there was nobody in that section of the Pentagon, apparently. I think that they had prior knowledge, like Pearl Harbor. They let it happen so they could capitalize on a tragedy. We got to figure out how to explain $2.5 trillion disappeared. Let's go ahead and let this go down. And let's get rid of this building and let's get rid of this part of the Pentagon. And we can just be like, well, it looks like they attacked a couple of different places. Most of
what I've heard that has any kind of credibility to it in terms of a conspiracy lends to exactly that. It was not that they did it.
Right.
But they knew it was
capitalized.
They knew it was coming and they didn't stop it. That was the whole there.
Read a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and you'll see why it gave them a reason to start a war that will never end.
Yeah.
I was in both of them, and they are never going to fully end. I know that we drew down troops again, but we will always have a presence there. Where are we still? We're still in Japan. We're still in Korea. We're still in Nam.
Well, it's because it's partially America's desire to have their hands in every piece of the pie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I go back and forth on that. Like, great, we have a presence and we can get anywhere at any time. Like, within 24 hours, we can get a force just about anywhere.
Right.
But
then on the other hand, like,
what's the point?
Don't we have enough already? And what is it? To what end is it benefiting?
Keep up surveillance. Know when threats are going to come. Stop those threats and cut down. Cut down on that military spending. We're at 5 times the amount of the next closest person. It's absurd. And you can't say that. You can't say, cut military spending.
I'd just like to see us get a little bit more back to an internal focus on the country. Spend a little bit less energy and time on the world and a little, because America in a lot of ways is in
we're very imperfect, and so it's a little
shape.
It's a lot of fucking hubris at this point
Man,
to think that.
Man.
Do you think the government gives a shit about the spotted owl or some fucking polar bears?
No.
Yeah.
No, but as long as we hold our oil reserves in reserve and we're using other people's
fucking infrastructure, man.
When it runs out elsewhere, oh geez, we just found all this. And spotted owl, yeah, it tastes like fucking chicken McNuggets. Go ahead and eat them all.
Can't educate
and we'll cut
our
those
young
trees
people.
down.
Can't take care of our old people. Like we don't need to worry about. I mean, sorry, Africa, but we don't need to worry about your AIDS epidemic or.
And you know what? That Akon dude is taking care of Africa.
We've shown everybody what a first world country looks like, so now it's up to them to act like one.
If somebody wants to privately, as a citizen, if they want to, be a philanthropist,
you're not wrong, no.
Some, celebrities,
you're not
athletes, whatever they are, if they want to allocate their personal funds to helping make sure that there's clean drinking water in Africa or whatever, that's cool. More power to them. I commend that. You're doing good for the world. Good for you. But our government, our country, we don't need to be maybe worrying about those kind of things so much when our country has so many of its own problems.
LeBron James complaining about slavery when his shoes are made by slaves.
Yeah,
fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck the NBA and fuck the NFL. I hate all of those people. All of them.
It's for me. It's
they sit there and badmouth America, and then fucking you just suckle at America's teat. Fuck you. You play a game.
It's a separate. Yeah, and that's exactly how I look at it. I don't. It all just goes in one ear and out the other. I don't.
Because you like football.
Because I enjoy the game of football. I like watching it being played, and I like the mechanics of it. So I tune all of the rhetoric out. I don't even. It doesn't even exist to me.
Walk down the street and watch a high school game, man.
Doesn't
fuck those dudes.
It's not the same. It's you're watching
college games
you're watching the best of the best.
Are you though? Like nobody raps when they tackle. Like nobody wraps up when they tackle.
Yeah. Some of them do. Some of them do. And it's funny that you'd reference tackling and defense because that's where it is. I've banged that drum for as long as I can remember. It's why I'm a Steelers fan. Derek and I have talked about it. It's why I like the Bears or liked the Bears at a time because they had the very first Super Bowl that I ever saw, which I have no memory of because I wasn't even a year old because it was 1985, was the 1985 Chicago Bears, who are arguably the greatest defense of all time.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff is what I grew up on. Watch a college game. It's why do you think they score 70 fucking points in college? There is no defense. You want to talk about people who don't tackle or play defense? Watch a college game. There is no defense.
Watch
and the NFL is different in that regard. But on the flip side of it, am I overwhelmingly fucking sick of the anthem stuff and the kneeling and the displays and all of it? Oh man, I'm way over it.
Well, it's politicized at this point, and that's where it's at that point. Then it fails to get across the message that they're trying to get across.
They put some rapist name on their fucking helmets.
Oh really?
Yeah, I can't even remember his name, but you saw that shit opening day. They've all got a piece of tape with that dude's name on it. And that girl was 14 when he raped her.
What I think is interesting.
She's still alive.
I saw
fucking garbage. Fuck them.
There's a lot of people that have got the Breonna Taylor thing across the back of their helmet. I've seen her name many times. That's one I can actually, from what information I've gathered on it, it sounds like that lady really did dirty. So I can understand them, supporting that. I've seen a lot of them that just have a very generic, Black Lives Matter type thing. But I've also seen several players who they don't have anything on the back of their helmet.
That's cool.
And
fuck them for being in an organization that allows it.
I have to wonder if it's like a by choice thing. It's all about who has the most accurate projection model is part of why they keep the public asleep, to keep their models more accurate.
Yeah, the less people doing random shit, the more accurate they can predict behavior.
Well, yeah. Keep them pacified so you know what they're going to do. They're all going to sit at home and eagerly wait for the next Tiger King.
Like the Kardashians have been doing to Kanye.
Yeah, fucking wow. You want to talk about the most toxic substance on this planet? Yikes. It's Kardashian pussy. I mean, fucking look at the track record of dudes that have had sex with Kardashians. That one dude almost died in a brothel.
Yeah, what was Bowden? No,
Lamar
Odom.
Hello, and fucking Bruce Jenner cut his dick off, and now he's Caitlyn Jenner.
Trying to lock him up with doctors.
Yeah,
that he's been trying to get a divorce for years.
In a now deleted Twitter rant, Kanye said that the Kardashians were trying to lock him up with doctors, and that he's been trying to get a divorce for years. Furthermore, several tweets allude to Hollywood's darker secret, MK Ultra.
This is why you don't make a fucking clown out of yourself, because I can't take Kanye West seriously about this stuff because he's too much of a fucking
He
goon.
flies off the handle too much.
He's got way too much of a track record of being a fucking goon to take him seriously.
Since the time he charged the stage when Taylor Swift got that award, then it's like you can't take him seriously.
Taylor is old as time. Boy and crying wolf.
Taylor is old as time.
Yeah, crying wolf.
Tay-Tay.
When you spout a decade worth of just completely erratic, goofy shit on Twitter, the time that you come out to try and actually be like, no guys, I'm not fucking around now, this is serious, they're not going to listen to you.
That's why it's great that he's running for president, because our current president goes fucking goofy on the Twitter all the time. Northie, I'm going to war and putting my life on the line, and if I'm murdered, don't ever let white media tell you I wasn't a good man. When people threaten to take you out of my life, just know I love you. Yay.
We don't have any other tweets.
That's the only one we have.
But that's I mean, maybe they are. And I get that the record labels, a lot of these guys are likening them to slavery, but he's worth like $500 million.
Well, because he
billion, sorry.
The thing happened, like he'll come out and he'll like fly off the handle, and then it's like shush. Then he kind of like creeps back into his.
He's living on a ranch in Cody, Wyoming.
They rein him in.
The tricky thing about this is one of those situations where it's one or it's the other.
Right. He's full of shit.
Either he's having some kind of mental episode live on Twitter and people need to fucking get his head examined because he's dissociated from reality, or he's not and all of it's real, and fucking watch the fuck out, people.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground.
The last few years he's been talking about, how
those are the ravings of a madman.
That fucking crazy ass Kris Jenner was taking photographs of her daughters for Playboy.
Yeah,
and
man.
He's got video of her like, oh, you're doing great, sweetie.
Yeah.
Taking pictures, and they're trying to do shit to his kids. He's been talking about fucking Britney Spears and Amanda Bynes, and how, Britney's dad got conservatorship over him, and Kris Jenner's trying to get conservatorship over Kanye.
That stuff with Britney Spears is really fucked up.
It is.
It's really messed
There's
up.
no reason that they should be like, oh, well, you can't manage your fortune. Who cares? If she can't manage her fortune and she loses all that money, whatever.
So what happened? Oh, wait, scroll back up. Because this is what I was saying.
Okay.
So what happened to Kanye during these 10 days? While there's a shroud of mystery
back in 2016 when he's putting the 5150.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kanye provided some insight during an interview with David Letterman. Quote, they handcuff you, they drug you, they put you on a bed, and they separate you from everyone you know. When you're in this state, you're hyper paranoid about everything. Everyone, this is my experience, other people have different experiences. Everyone now is an actor. Everything's a conspiracy. You feel the government is putting chips in your head. You feel you're being recorded. You feel all these things. So again, that's exactly what I was saying. There's no middle ground. That is either the ravings of a complete fucking nut job. Right. Who needs like genuine.
No, what you had said before help was echoing as I was silently reading that. Yeah. Because
he's right. And everybody needs to watch the fuck out. There's no middle ground.
But they've got him on drugs. So then there's like this line of where, like, did I imagine it or did I not imagine it?
And that's why it's a shame that, like I said, that's why it's a shame that he cried wolf so many times and is such an outspoken nut job. Because if this
he did weird shit too. Like he would walk off of a concert that somebody paid $500 to go see after like
several
half a
times.
Song. Yeah,
that was something
not
he
like
did more than once. Yeah,
Like it was regular behavior for years.
It's so.
And then he did one performance where he just laid down and stared at the ceiling and held a microphone like this. Like you can't do that and then expect years later when somebody's trying to steal your money. Which I fully believe that is the whole point. I don't think it's MK Ultra. I don't think it's anything. I think they're trying to get, like, Britney Spears' dad did it, and now he has control of her vast fortune. Kris Jenner is trying to do it with Kanye.
Yeah.
It's not the fucking government. No, the Kardashians are a completely different monster. And yes, it is a textbook definition of a conspiracy. 2 or more people plotting to do something to somebody else that's not legal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing. Yeah. They are conspiring against Kanye.
Yeah.
I do not think it's a government operation. No. I do not think that there's fucking like crazy ass dudes with guns hiding in the fucking shrubbery.
If he didn't have the track record that he had of the erratic, crazy behavior, like I think that probably is happening to an extent. I don't know if maybe it's happening to the extent.
Well, they have to let him be a little bit loopy and do the shit like run for president and shit like that, so that it
to keep him discredited.
To help keep him discredited.
Yes, exactly.
They're not stupid women,
but
not one of those women is stupid. You don't make that much money stupid.
I think that he has a demonstrated history of mental instability.
Yeah, he's an artist.
But not your run of the mill. Like, this is cut your ear off Van Gogh style level craziness with your artistry, not like.
Yeah, but musically, he's a fucking genius.
Oh yeah, dude.
So that's why that shit happens. Like you can't have one without the other. I don't think.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Some people say, "Oh, that's not true. That's not true," but
there's a lot of genius and madness in good art.
I mean, you look at a dude like Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
He had some weird shit, melting clocks. He did a lot of hallucinogens. He had a Grandpa Don mustache to the fucking extreme. Like, that shit was way out here and looped up. And he was nuts.
Yeah.
But his art was good.
There's, like I said, there's a lot of madness and genius in art. They kind of all go hand in hand a lot of times together.
You look at a dude like Dave Chappelle. There's not a lot of madness there.
No.
And he's nailed it.
Yeah.
But it's a different kind of art.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot of critical thinking.
Daniel Day-Lewis is a good example with the method acting.
Yeah.
I think he's shit nuts.
I agree. But he's also like way beyond talent.
But when he's finished, he crawls back into his hole, and we don't hear.
That's true.
Fucking boo all from him.
More of them were that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I have no idea how
he comes out to crawl out of the woodworks every once in a while.
On anything is.
No.
I love it.
It's like acting.
Hey! I need to be crazy for a little while. Mm-hmm. Steven, can I be Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, I'm gonna go build a log
cabin while we make this movie. Yeah.
You will address me as Mr. President.
That's not something that somebody who doesn't have a little bit of fucking genuine mental problems would do. I'm sorry. It's no judgments on Daniel Day-Lewis because he's crazy talented. But
I bet he has a family that keeps him out of the limelight. I would bet. I don't know who I don't know what his family situation is, but I bet there's somebody that handles him when he's not working. Because you don't hear anything.
Yeah,
you don't hear like, oh, Daniel Day-Lewis fucking shot up a nightclub with fucking airsoft guns and then snorted tequila off the bar.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
your comments are showing, Matt.
Hi, son.
I'm sure that somebody in his family keeps
shrubbery guns. What?
Oh, because of what I said.
Oh,
there's dudes in the shrubs with guns.
I gotcha. No, I'm interested to see what shakes out with the Kanye thing. For one, the him being on the presidential thing, I think is just a kind of a blip on the radar. I don't think it's really gonna I mean, obviously he's not going to win the presidency, but
he's not on all 50
I don't
states.
I don't even really, at the end of the day, I don't think it's that big of a deal. As you pointed out in our conversations, you can look back historically on any long list of people that got
Vermin Supreme
themselves,
has been on that shit.
they got themselves on the presidential ballot.
If he was serious about his run, he'd be up running every day. And I think it's a day-to-day thing. Like he wakes up one morning and he's like, I'm going to campaign today. And then tomorrow he's going to
tomorrow I'm going to talk about conspiracy.
Make a fucking smoothie.
It's the whims of a rich, like filthy rich madman.
Yeah.
What do I want to do today? You know what? Today I'm going to go buy a fucking tiger. That's what I want to do today. Like it's that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Tomorrow he's campaigning. Today he's walking down the street with a tiger in tow.
Man. Yeah. That's
Just like Calvin and Hobbes.
I think that's what it is more than anything else. But I'm interested to see not so much that, but with the money stuff and the Kardashian stuff, how that shakes out, because their show is ending after
it's over.
20 or 21 years. It was on the air, 20 years.
That's
I don't
disgusting.
Know
how long that was on.
I don't know that it's ended yet.
Next season is the last season.
But I know it's ending.
But
so
that little coven will never have enough money.
No,
I thought that
never.
show would go out like every other fucking fly-by-night celebrity
the Real Housewives of
like all like
are still on TV.
Like the Jessica Simpson show and stuff like and Nicole Smith with her show. Of course, she died, but I mean, I thought that it would be like this here today, gone tomorrow.
It has a staying power that defies logic and the norm.
All from a fucking sex video.
That reportedly her mother shot.
19 seasons, but only since 2007.
That's Kanye that said that, though. So who knows if that's true?
So I bet you they run in half-year seasons.
Yeah, they do.
So
no, but you reference, there's the Real Housewives shows. There's a litany of them on VH1 of like Love and Hip Hop and Love and Hip Hop LA and Love and Hip Hop New York and different cities that it's the same thing as the Real Housewives thing. It's just hip hop families
Shore,
and stuff.
Basketball wives.
There's all of these things. They have this rotating, we're going to follow the housewives in Orange County, but then we're not going to follow them anymore because we're going to go follow ones in Queens. And then we're gonna, but the Kardashian one is the outlier because it has the staying power. It's been the same core group. What is so? Because my ex-wife watched it, and so I would catch episodes in passing while I was like playing Madden and stuff. I don't understand and never have been able to understand. And
I never got the draw for it.
No, I don't.
Nope.
I don't.
And I've watched.
I don't get it.
There's reality shows I've watched.
Me too.
There are some that I enjoy.
There are some that I still watch.
Chopped is amazing.
I like Gordon Ramsay. I like the Kitchen Nightmares. I like I like a lot of those cooking competition shows. They're pretty solid shit.
Yeah, because I like food and and they're so well edited.
And it's like, oh man, that looks good.
You
always
think they're up against the clock, and they're not most of the time. But it doesn't matter.
No, I'm
like,
not a reality.
Shit, is he gonna get that garnish on there?
I'm not a reality TV hater. I've auditioned for Big Brother 4 times.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that about it.
Yes.
Wow.
Did you? Oh, it's free on Peacock. Check out Spy Games. Jenny and I watched it all yesterday.
I don't know what this says
fuck.
about me as a person, if it's a good thing about my character or if it speaks to me potentially being a sociopath, but I very, very firmly believe that I could go, as long as I could figure out a way to get myself into a physical shape where I could hack the physical competitions. I really firmly believe I could go on Big Brother and win. I think I could. The very first season that I watched was this dude named Derek. He made it through the entire season without ever even being nominated to be evicted. He was a police officer, and he went in with a cover story. And his cover story was that he was a
Matt. Xavier sees your comments.
His cover story was that he was a PE teacher.
Uh-huh.
He didn't want the people in the house to know that he was a cop because then they would know that he had, investigative abilities and interrogative abilities and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And it was like this, I don't know, I watched it and I was like, dude, because it takes a level of, I think you could do it too, and I mean this very lovingly. I think the only reason why I would have a better chance of winning over you is I think that I'm more I can connect with an everyman audience more than you can. I think I'd have a better shot of going into a house with 16 strangers and having them like me.
I think I'd have a better shot at Survivor than you would.
Oh, absolutely. Not even close. Yeah, you would run circles around me in that.
10 years ago,
dude, I could go in there and manipulate the fuck out of these people and just go, because I would go in and I it would be like a sociopathic behavior. You would go in knowing these are not people.
They're not.
They're a means to an end for me to get to my $100,000, and I am going to treat them as nothing more than pieces on a game board. And if you can actually do that,
and they aren't like,
don't invest in these people.
No, these people are the enemy.
Those are, and the people who can't do that are the ones that fucking get stomped on.
Yeah,
they get protected at the beginning because it's an extra person on your side, and then they get thrown to the wolves.
No, I'm not a, like I said, I'm not a reality TV hater, but I've never seen. I just don't. What the fuck is so interesting about those goddamn people that
what train wreck was worth watching? Seasons. Was that one? It was like Love at First Sight or something on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm sure I got you started on it. I didn't finish it.
I never watched it. I heard about it.
That was the one where they put them in the room.
No, Jenny turned me onto that.
Oh, I thought I said that. I thought I brought that up.
No, because we talked about it on a show, and I was surprised that you were watching it as well because we hadn't talked about it. It was fuck. You're watching that too. We should bring that up on the show. You should finish it. It's worth the watch.
Is it? Okay.
I mean,
I'll have to check it out. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so they've got like a block in front of them, and they just talk for their first X amount of time, and just fucking they propose marriage before they ever see each other. And like,
man, that's wild.
I mean, you go in and you see all of the people around you. You know what you look like. You're like, oh, we're all beautiful people. I'll be okay with whatever this person looks like.
Right.
It's going to be okay. And there were only a few who weren't like model level. And it seemed like the better looking they were, the dumber they were, male and female. Like, what's wrong with you fucking people? So I must be ugly as fuck because I'm like the smartest person I know.
Xavier says Conspiracy Castle on YouTube is a reality TV guy on Glass House. Never saw it, but he has a popular conspiracy channel now. Pretty funny dude.
Conspiracy Castle.
I need to watch more conspiracy.
There you go.
Show or channels
content. Yeah,
I listened to a couple of podcasts where they talk about them, but most of my stuff is from books I was reading at the end of high school and beginning of my 20s. And
so you need to bone up.
I need to get caught up. I can't just keep talking about Operation Northwoods. Operation Midnight Climax. That's my favorite. I don't even know what that one is. I haven't had a chance to look it up yet. I just want it. I'm like, that one's mine.
It's a good name.
So what are you watching on Peacock?
Oh, it was a reality show called Spy Games. And these people all have to go up. There's a woman who was an interrogator for the Secret Service, a guy that was an investigator for the FBI, and a guy who was a case officer for the CIA. And they're the judges. And so the people all have to do a task, then they get trained for the next one, and then they have to do the next one. Like they do lock picking, they do situational awareness, they do this and that. And
pretty fun though, huh?
Oh, it's a great one. And I don't know. I wouldn't have guessed.
That sounds cool.
That the person who won would have won.
I just saw that Christopher Plummer is going to be on a show, or is on a show on there.
On Peacock?
Yeah.
Huh. Oh. Did you guys watch Lego Masters? Speaking of reality,
no.
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. It was one of the few things I've seen Will Arnett in that I didn't care for him in. He's not a good host for that kind of thing.
I like him because I don't like him.
But
like I don't think I've ever liked any of his work, but he definitely doesn't detract from the show that he's on. Like he always plays somebody who's unlikable.
These people built a bridge made of Legos that extended, if I remember correctly, 6 feet along.
The plural
Between-
of Lego is Lego.
Is Lego? Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
I didn't watch that show, but I know it comes from this.
It's true.
And those people take that shit serious.
They do. Lego people take their Lego very seriously. But if I remember right, it was a 6-foot gap between these two little columns, and they had to build a Lego bridge across it.
Wow.
And they built a Lego bridge in 15 hours or 18 hours or whatever their time limit was, that supported over 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
And it was just, there was no glue. It was just Lego, which that's really kind of incredible to me, honestly. Like 1,000 fucking pounds. You could build a Lego bridge and drive a goddamn car onto it. Yeah. And if you built it right, it would stay there. That's I don't know, man. That's pretty impressive.
Apparently, you could do it fairly quickly.
Right? No, there was some really cool. If you're somebody who's into Lego and enjoys building with them and stuff, there's a lot to be enjoyed from it. They build some really neat shit.
I'll have to check it out. I got into dominoes. Well, not into, but I was watching some of the domino builds that they would do and shit a few years ago, and got my kids into watching them.
Oh yeah.
And then they were like, I'm going to build dominoes. I think they were like mildly disappointed when they couldn't do as much as like some of those fucking builds were.
I can't even afford enough dominoes.
I know, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's holy
like,
shit.
I get that it's a
like we bought a bunch for them.
Uh-huh.
And like, even with the bunch that we bought, I was like, there's limits.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Those people that,
that are like,
there's
big into
thousands.
Yeah.
And
you ever watch any of those Rube Goldberg contraption videos?
Yeah, they're
where
cool.
Like a dude will
really
cook an egg
cool.
by shooting something. He shoots a target with an airsoft from here to there, and then it goes all the way around his house just to cook up an egg. And it's like, wow.
The time.
I don't know if I should be impressed or just really, really disappointed.
That's time spent poorly.
It is. It always reminds me of when Adam Scott makes the claymation video in Parks and Rec. And it's like 5 seconds long.
Yeah. Like, you see
I compared that to Avatar.
Like,
no, Avatar is like,
that bonus episode they did for the pandemic was one of the better.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was good.
I haven't seen it yet.
I think it was on Hulu.
It's probably on Peacock.
Might be on Peacock now.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I was the one that 30 Rock did was like not good.
That's such a hit or miss show.
Genuinely not good.
I didn't even.
I like the Donaghy's heavy episodes, but other than that, it's very, very
has
hit
a
or miss.
really for
Mythic Quest did a pandemic episode.
Oh, really?
It was really good. Yeah.
It's
heartfelt too.
30 Rock has of all of those shows that were in that Thursday night NBC, Office, Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, Community, all of those kind of shows. 30 Rock has the weakest secondary cast of all of those shows by like a fucking 100 miles, not just a mile. Most of the secondary characters on that show suck.
Yeah, the top 3 are about the only ones we're watching.
It's Tracy and Liz and Jack.
Yeah.
And Jenna's all right at times.
Scott Adsit, who fucking cares about that guy?
Dude, the writers, Lutz and
Jenna's
and
fucking
Toofer and
insufferable.
It's
insufferable. She's everything you don't want in a female character.
Yeah, I like yes, Matthew, that's exactly the scene I'm referencing, because he plays the REM song Stand. In his claymation video.
In the place where you are.
Kenneth is good.
Kenneth was good.
Yeah.
Kenneth was good. But yeah, it's Liz, Jack, and Tracy, and everybody else is just kind of window dressing. Whereas like a show like Parks and Rec, I love Amy Poehler to death, and I really like Leslie Knope, but that show survives and thrives on its secondary and even like tertiary characters. Like Pert
Hapley,
yeah,
Gary or Terry Gergich,
yeah,
it's Larry now,
and Larry,
Rob Lowe, probably the favorite thing I've seen him do.
Oh yeah, hands down,
yeah,
literally the best thing he's ever done,
literally,
and he's done some good shit.
Yeah, he has.
His stuff he did. He played a character on The Orville that was great.
Oh really?
He played an alien.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think to shoot his
Matthew watched The Orville. I don't like Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that funny.
I think he goes too far.
I think he's talented, but I don't think he's that
too
funny.
often. Like he takes a joke and he runs it into the ground until it's not funny anymore. And he holds on until it's funny again. And instead of stopping there, he goes a little further until you're just like, this is fucking annoying.
I could see that. See, I don't watch Family Guy or any of the other shows.
I think he does it with everything, though. I haven't seen him do anything where he doesn't have something that just, he takes a point, he goes past where it's funny to where it's annoying.
Well, he did that with A Million Ways to Die in the West with the picture joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would have been the Orville's not a comedy.
It is and it isn't.
From what I gathered from Matthew, it's funny, but it's not a comedy.
It's like, okay, so it'd be like it's got some comedic feel to it, but it feels a lot like Next Generation.
Yeah,
it's got a Next Generation feel to it all the way.
I think I watched 2 episodes with him from season 1.
And there's typically a message
it felt
embedded in the episode.
It felt like if TNG injected a little bit of humor into it, was, not like, again, like I said, not a comedy, but funny elements.
Yeah. Well, Norm Macdonald plays a blob alien.
Yeah. But
it is late.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it is. Damn. Is it really 10:30?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to go.
Let's call it there, folks. Yeah. With the Orville.
Check out Replicas.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. And boy, I'm going to let, I'll let Rick handle it for the audio version, but really quick, go to timespentpoorly.com. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff.
I was going to say, you put us out there to a whole bunch of new stuff since the last show.
Yeah, I discovered like a ton of
over here doing work.
No shit.
Repository or directories that I could submit us to. And then we're also on Apple, or not on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on Audible soon too. So we're all over the place. It's kind of exciting because we're finding like listeners where we didn't have them before. So that's kind of cool. If you want to support us in any kind of financial way, nothing too major, but if you want to like help us keep the show going when I have to upgrade my equipment and stuff like that,
new mics,
and that's coming soon because I can hear this mic starting to pop and crackle here and there.
Well, and he's talking about doing a Patreon level where you can see pictures of his butthole.
So, no, no, I have not. I'll make it. Okay.
Sign up to the $10 tier, and Ward will write poetry to you specifically and
10 squared
to you.
It'll be a haiku.
Anyway,
that's poetry, folks.
The Patreon's there, but it's patreon.com/timespentpoorly. Thanks again for joining us this long in the tooth episode, but man, what a fun time.
Yeah, this was good. This was a good one.
We built this show over the course of 2 weeks.
We fucking Rogan'd this one.
Oh yeah.
And we don't have to apologize for anything, which is even better.
I know.
Right.
I said some things that probably needed apology.
No, thanks for listening, everybody. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Have a good night.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.